I'll tell you, thank goodness we got a great crew.
It's going to be okay.
Starting Monday, you can rest a little easy. Get together for Nightlife, starring David Brenner, plus
my musical director, Billy Preston, and my hard-working crew.
We belong together. Late night starting Monday for Nightlife.
Yeah, together.
Featuring the Gators of the University of Florida against the Hurricanes of the University of Miami.
Today is the 48th time that the University of Florida Fighting Gators and the University of Miami Hurricanes have met on the football field. It's an intense rivalry. Hello, everybody. I'm Jim Gallagher, and with former Florida player Jim Yarborough, we'll bring you all the action. Jim, perhaps you can tell me about the intensity connected with this game.
Well, any interstate rivalry like this, Jim, you can't lose your poise. You got to be under control at all times during the ball game. You can't do some crazy things. Of course, I'm talking about the players, not the fans. The fans are allowed to do a few crazy things. This is going to be one fantastic, exciting ball game out here this afternoon.
Great quarterback matchup because you've got two Heisman Trophy candidates on the field. We, of course, know about Kerwin Bell, and Vinny Testaverde comes in here to Florida Field today, a highly touted quarterback coming off a big win over South Carolina.
Vinny Testaverde threw for 3,200 yards last season for the Hurricanes. That's more yards than any Gator quarterback has ever thrown for. Kerwin Bell is our own Heisman Trophy candidate. Anyone that's seen Kerwin play here on Florida Field knows that he's one of the best, if not the best, quarterback in the country. These guys' stats are very similar. You're not going to find two better passing quarterbacks than we'll see this afternoon. Now, Testaverde threw more interceptions last year, but perhaps that's because he put the ball in the air a little bit more than Kerwin Bell did.
One of the things that Miami has and Florida's developing is a group of great running backs.
Melvin Bratton, I think, is the best running back in the state of Florida. I think that stable of running backs that the Hurricanes have is the best in the state. That might be their edge today. They have tremendous running back experience and talent. Maybe two #1 draft choices, similar to what the Gators had last year. But the Gators have a stable of young running backs. I think maybe the edge in the offensive line goes to the Gators. Maybe that'll make the difference. But I think watch out for those Miami running backs this afternoon.
What about some intangibles, like is the home field an advantage to Florida or a disadvantage today?
Oh, it's a big advantage, obviously, with this partisan crowd. You're coming in here with a national championship potential team. If anybody can beat the University of Florida at Florida Field, it could be this Miami team today. But the home field advantage, what, 21 straight victories without a loss? A tremendous edge there for the Gators. So any edge that the Hurricanes might have in talent at this point in this season is matched by the Gators' home field advantage.
We'll be back with a kickoff right after these messages.
Florida football is brought to you by Armstrong Carpets, Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Florida, the Florida Orange Growers, also by Dairy Farmers Incorporated, Florida's milk producers, by First Union Bank of Florida, your Florida and South Georgia Ford dealers, Gatorade Thirst Quencher, Likes Meats, by Merrill Lynch, Scotty's, and by Sonny's Real Pit Barbecue.
Source of power in town.
Whoa! Charlie, we're out on A1A. You don't believe this.
A new power in banking. First Union National Bank. Let the power be with you.
want mouth-watering goodness? You want Sonny's Real Fit Barbecue. Everything in Sonny's has that great barbecue taste cooked right through, especially the ribs. Sonny's slow cooks tender, juicy ribs to mouth-watering perfection and serves them up with coleslaw, fries, and garlic bread. It's the rib plate. Oh, now that's good eating.
Everybody loves to eat at Sonny's, 'cause Sonny's makes it all taste right.
Nothing cuts through thirst like Gatorade Thirst Quencher. It quenches the thirst in your throat while it helps put back the potassium, fluids, and minerals your body sweats away.
Gatorade is thirsty. For that deep down body thirst.
A good leader has to have two essential qualities. One, you've got to be persistent. Always keep trying no matter what. And two, you've got to be able to instill that winning attitude in others. That's how the Ford dealers have stayed #1 in truck sales here for 18 years. They keep working to give you the best deals on tough Ford trucks. And they pass on that positive attitude to everyone in their dealerships. I tell you, it's great working with the leaders at your Florida and South Georgia Ford dealers.
Subscribe now to GatorBait, the sports weekly for Gator fans. Call collect 904-372-1215. Don't wait. Get GatorBait.
University of Florida football is being brought to you tonight by Consolidated Bank, Oakland Toyota, Winn-Dixie.
Florida Gators get set to host the Miami Hurricanes this afternoon. And Jim Yarbrough, it feels hotter.
Yeah, I believe 91 degrees is conservative. There you see the Ibis doing his thing down on Florida Field. Boy, the fans are excited for this one, Jim Gallagher.
76 degrees, the humidity this afternoon. But, of course, you're talking about two teams that are used to the heat. It's not like a pair of Big Ten teams, for example. So both the teams practice in the heat, so that really won't be a factor today.
Of course, that's true. What you have to realize, at some point during the preseason practice, these kids were on the field 3 times a day. And a lot of them grew up in the state of Florida. Matter of fact, the majority of the kids on both teams grew up in the state of Florida. So they're used to the heat, but my goodness, is it hot.
It certainly is this afternoon, and Florida won the toss this afternoon as we get ready for the 48th matchup between the University of Florida and the University of Miami.
Look at that enthusiasm. Those kids on both teams can't wait to get out there and get at each other.
Some interesting stats. Florida has won 3 consecutive games, dating to a 24-3 loss to Georgia in Jacksonville, and that was in 1985. They have not lost at Florida Field in 21 games. Here's Jimmy Johnson, and he is in his 8th year as a head coach, his 3rd at the University of Miami. His career mark at Miami, as you see, a fine 19-7.
And a terrific career at Oklahoma State as a head coach before he joined the Miami Hurricane program. His first victory was over the Gators at Tampa Stadium in 1984.
Great player for Frank Broyles at Arkansas. And here is Galen Hall, the University of Florida head coach. He himself a great player at Penn State. His career record 18-1-1, and this is his 3rd year as head coach at the University of Florida. And Galen Hall, Jimmy Johnson once were on Barry Switzer's staff at the University of Oklahoma.
And right now, the 2 guys with the steadiest pulse rate here in this stadium are Galen Hall and Jimmy Johnson. Those guys have to be cool.
Here's a Gator place kicker who will boot it away, and that is John David Francis at 5'9", 160. As you see, a sophomore from Bradford High School in Stark, Florida. He was a 3-sport letterman in high school, and his favorite sports personality, Pete Rose.
Yeah, Pete Rose was one of my favorites when he was playing for the Tampa Tarpons before he even got to the Cincinnati Reds. We need to mention again that rule change we talked about last week, Jim Gallagher. The Gators will be kicking from the 35-yard line. That's a change in college football. Last year you kicked from the 40. Now you might see a greater potential for runbacks. Brings a little bit more excitement to the kicking game.
As John David Francis gets ready to move to the football and boots it away to get this football game started at Florida Field. Taken by Miami on the 13-yard line, and the return is across the 20 and up to the 25 by Darrell Oliver, a senior from Palatka, Florida. Vinny Testaverde in 1985 finished 5th in Heisman Trophy voting, and he is being boomed by the University of Miami as a Heisman candidate. His picture adorns a lot of magazine covers these days.
And he should be publicized. As we look at those running backs I talked about earlier, Bratton, Highsmith, Irvin at the wide receiver. There we see the offensive line for the Canes.
O'Neill, Alekna, Raposi, O'Connor, and Proven, who is moving into a starting role as Miami goes with the eye on first down from the 25-yard line. They give off, it goes to the tailback straight up the middle, and he cuts across the 30 and up to the 35-yard line. Melvin Bratton, the junior from Miami, Florida, 217 pounds. He runs with authority.
Well, a big hole right off the bat. The Canes get a first down. Melvin Bratton, we mentioned him earlier. I think he's a tremendous running back.
Moten, Williams, Armstrong, Roth, White, Weston, and Charlton starting defensively for Florida. The deep guys, Mulberry, White, Oliver, and Williams, and they will be tested this afternoon by Vinny Testaverde. 1st and 10 on the 36 for the Hurricanes of Miami as they drive against the Florida Gators at Florida Field. A split backfield behind Testaverde as his giveoff goes to the fullback straight up the middle to the 40-yard line. Alonzo Highsmith, the big senior from Miami Columbus High School.
Well, that time the Gators doing a better job at the line of scrimmage. There was a tremendous hole on the first play. The teams dominated the first play. The Gators come back and answer the challenge and stuff the second play.
In 86, Highsmith, as you see, with just 5 running plays, the ball will be spotted down now at the 39-yard line. It'll be 2nd down, and call it 7 yards for the Hurricanes as they drive on Florida. Receivers left and right as Testaverde drops for his first pass of the ball game. It is complete out in the flat for a first down to Michael Irvin, number 47, the sophomore from Fort Lauderdale.
Michael Irvin is the biggest wide receiver on the field this afternoon, 6'2", 200 pounds. Irvin's split out to the right. You see Testaverde, he's got Irvin in mind right from the beginning. Does a little bit of a square out route. Ricky Mulberry's playing a little loosely right there, and Irvin makes an easy reception.
Have to play loose on a guy like Testaverde in the beginning. Irvin, 6 catches this year, averaging just under 17 yards per catch. 1st and 10 on the 47-yard line with the Hurricanes in the I formation. The give-off goes to Bratton. Bratton tries it off the right side, and he's been stacked up by the Gators after a short gain. Lewis Oliver, the sophomore from Belgrade, the first guy to make the hit for the Florida Gators.
Big hit by Lewis Oliver. The Gators safeties are tremendous hitters. As you see, Melvin Bratton with his 11 attempts for 100 yards last week against South Carolina. But he had his headgear snapped that time when he was hit by Lewis Oliver. There he's going to dip into the line of scrimmage. Keith Williams forces him along the sideline. Watch Lewis Oliver come up. Pop. Doesn't wrap the arms around, but there's Arthur White. The ball is loose, but looks like it got out of bounds before the Gators got possession.
2nd and 11 at the 46-yard line for the Hurricanes. The right side for them would be to the left as Testaverde drops the throw. He's got the time and unloads, and incomplete. Or are they going to call it an incomplete pass or a fumble? Great play defensively by the University of Florida secondary.
Jarvis Williams, number 26. What a headache he just delivered. My goodness. All right, the back has an option. You see Bratton coming out of the backfield. He's working on a linebacker right now. He breaks to the outside. He could have gone inside. Watch that. Oh! My goodness, Jarvis Williams, what courage.
Jarvis Williams, a 6-foot-tall, 191-pound junior. And as you say, he really put a hit on the University of Miami wide receiver.
No, it's Melvin Bratton, Jim.
Coming out of the backfield, Melvin Bratton, number 5, and he is walking out under his own power. They call it an incompletion, so it'll be 3rd down, 11, the ball on the 46.
I'll be very surprised if he can recover enough to come back and play in this first quarter. It takes a while to shake those cobwebs out when you're hit like that. Again, he had the option when he came out of the backfield to break inside or outside. He was working on Scott Armstrong. He decided to break outside, but when he did, he ran right into the Gator cornerback, Jarvis Williams.
Warren Williams will replace Bratton at the halfback spot. Williams, number 24. A slot offense. Irvin, 47, in the slot to the left side for Testaverde on 3rd and 11 as he drops and looks and throws, and it is almost intercepted by Florida. It was intended for Michael Irvin, 47, thrown just a little bit high, almost picked off by the University of Florida's Adrian White, number 2. And so that brings up 4th down, and that means that the Canes will have to kick.
Okay, both teams won a little bit in that series. The Canes came out, moved the ball rather easily for a time, and then the Gators came back with some tremendous hits by Jarvis Williams and Lewis Oliver, got the momentum back for their defense. Now the Canes are forced to punt.
Beagles will kick. He's from Scottsdale, Arizona. It's 4th and 11. The line of scrimmage is the 46-yard line of Miami. Low snap, but he gets it away nicely. It is high. And Ricky Nattiel calls for the fair catch, and it will take a Florida bounce back from the 15 to about the 18-yard line, where it will be spotted down. And Freddie Highsmith, good coverage on that play.
Yeah, the Gators were only 10 men on the field right there. Somebody was not on the field for the University of Florida. They did get a break. The ball bounced back, giving the Gators some rather decent field position.
As you can see, Kerwin Bell has had some good games against the University of Miami. He is 1-1 against the Canes in 2 starts. This is his 3rd start against the Hurricanes. 1st and 10 on the 19-yard line for the Gators in their own territory with the I formation. They've got the A&W backfield, Williams and Williams. As Kerwin Bell is being pushed, throws on the run, and it is incomplete. It was intended for Wayne Williams coming out of the backfield.
Jerome Brown, their Outland Trophy candidate, putting on a good pass rush right off the bat.
Wayne Williams, Anthony Williams, Ricky Nattiel, Eric Hodges, and Rodney Jones, the skill position people, William Sims, McCarthy Davis, and Big Jeff Zimmerman across the front for the Gators of Florida.
Watch Jerome Brown, number 98 for the Hurricanes. He's a tremendous defensive tackle.
2nd, 10, ball remains on the 19-yard line. 4 down linemen being used by the Hurricanes as Kerwin Bell looks at the Miami defense. And the give-off is going to go to Anthony Williams across the 20 to the 21-yard line. And it was pretty tough yardage as the Hurricanes, Derwin Jones was the first guy to make the hit. You look at Hawkins, Brown, Jones, and Stubbs across the front for the Canes. Winston Moss, George Myra Jr., and Rod Carter are the linebackers. Ellis Brown, Benny Blades, and Tolbert Bain are the deep backs.
The same deep backs that started for the Canes last year in Miami when they faced the Florida Gators.
And they're all excellent. We will be back with more, but first, timeout for these messages from your local stations.
Winn-Dixie and Nature present Harvest Fresh Produce. Nature makes the produce. Winn-Dixie makes the difference.
Third and 8 on the 21, 12 minutes, 19 seconds to play in the first quarter. No score between Florida and Miami, and the Gators are in possession as Kerwin Bell drops the throw and unloads, and it is complete to Anthony Williams, who is hit as he touches the football, so we'll call that as incomplete. I call the completion a little quick.
Yeah, he didn't quite have the handle there. He looked like he was going to make the reception, but he just didn't make the grab.
That brings up 4th down, and that means that the Gators will have to kick. Jamie McAndrew is their punter, averaging just a little over 40 yards per boot. He is a freshman from Parker, Colorado. Went to Ponderosa High School.
Well, Miami's defense has to feel pretty good. They came out there and shut Florida down in 3 plays. Makes them punt.
And he gets it off. Miami's going to call for the fair catch on the 41-yard line, and calling for the fair catch was Brett Caravan, 33. And so that means that the University of Miami Hurricanes take over the football with good field position on the 41-yard line in their own territory.
Rather shaky punt there, end over end, 38 yards. Hurricanes have great field position on their own 41. Anytime you're on your own 40-yard line or better, that's tremendous field position.
There's Vinny Testaverde now as 24 to move to the other side. They go with a split backfield behind the young man from Elmont, New York, on first down as he drops and looks and throws, and it is incomplete. Intended for Charles Henry, the tight end, number 82, but falls is incomplete. We'd like to say that Jim and I will be picking our Mid-State Federal Player of the Game in the fourth quarter, so we'll be keeping an eye on which Gators are doing well and making that selection during the last quarter of the ball game.
Again, a big hit by the Gators secondary. That time it was Adrian White.
The loser in each of the past 3 seasons in this game has then gone on to win 10 straight. 2nd and 10 on the 41-yard line. And the give-up goes to Warren Williams off the left side. He's backed up right away and brought down by the University of Florida Gator defense.
Scott Armstrong, number 57. Watch Scott Armstrong, Jim, at the inside linebacker position. He's going to make a grab with his arm right there, and it's Bratton that he knocks down. Well, there's Melvin Bratton back in the game after he was hit so hard on the previous series. I didn't think he'd be back in that soon.
3rd and 10, the ball on the 41-yard line, still for Miami. Melvin Bratton averaging a little over 9 yards per carry last week against the University of South Carolina at Columbia.
Oh!
That's the He didn't hit, and still on his feet was brought down behind the line of scrimmage. And the guy that finally got him down was 26, Jarvis Williams. Testaverde, with all that size, pretty tough to bring down at 6'5" and close to 220.
He was, and there was a bit of confusion there. The Hurricanes come out with 3 wide receivers. The Gators aren't exactly sure on how to execute that blitz, but there comes Clifford Charlton untouched. Jarvis Williams, the cornerback, coming on a blitz. Very rarely do you see your cornerback sneak in there on a blitzing situation.
4th down, 19 on the 32-yard line. And Feagles gets it off. It is high and will hit down at the 25 and takes a Florida bounce back to the 30-yard line. And down fast for Miami, number 48, Bubba McDowell.
Again, Feagles not getting off a good punt as well. Both teams are hampered right now with not having an excellent punting game, and they're giving their opponents excellent field position on offense. One of the great things Ray Criswell did for the Florida Gators last year was to pin the other team's offense deep in their own territory every time he punted.
He was a great weapon. 1st and 10 at the 30.
That was only a 32-yard punt, I believe.
The pitch is going to go to Wayne Williams, trying it off the left side, and hits to about the 32-yard line. So a tough couple of yards for him as Jerome Brown, the big senior from Brooksville, makes the hit.
Let's talk about those Gator running backs. Last week from the tailback position, 3 young Gator tailbacks combined for over 200 yards rushing. That's a great start.
It certainly is. Woody Stevens would like to have horses like that. 2nd and 8 on the 32-yard line as Kerwin Bell looks over the University of Miami defensive unit. Bell to throw, and does, and it is incomplete. A little bit low, as it was intended for Eric Hodges, 10, and falls is incomplete.
Rod Carter, number 91, doing an excellent job from his outside linebacker position on coverage. Right now, the Canes are doing an excellent job covering the Gators in the passing game and putting some pressure on Kerwin Bell.
There you see what those 3 young tailbacks did last week. Wayne Williams, Octavius Gould, and Tony Lomack picking up 207 yards against Georgia Southern. 3rd down and 8. The ball on the 32 for Florida. Driving against Miami, they're in their own territory. No score in the game. Kerwin Bell being hit and brought down way behind the line of scrimmage by big Jerome Brown.
285-pounder. He's an Outland Trophy candidate, and right now he's dominating the line of scrimmage. On every play, he's had some pressure. He swings from the outside right there, comes from the outside. There's a back trying to pick him up. Wayne Williams, he doesn't have a gentleman's chance. Kerwin gets hit right in the face.
4th and 18, the ball on the 23-yard line, and McAndrew waits for the snap. Gets it off. Harriman 33 takes it down at the 36-yard line and is driven out of bounds on the far side of the field in front of the Miami bench in the vicinity of the 40, and Walter Bird, 79, takes him down. That's pretty impressive. Bird's the long snapper.
A lot of hustle. He's got to concentrate to get the ball back to the punter quickly and efficiently, and then he's got to hustle down the field, and he was the first man down there. Nice job, Walter Bird.
9 minutes, 12 seconds left to play in the first quarter. That was a 41-yard hoop for Jamie McAndrew, the son of former New York Mets pitcher Jim McAndrew.
Yeah, that was an excellent punt.
Vinny Testaverde looking at the 3 down linemen being thrown up by Florida, and the give-off is going to go to Alonzo Highsmith, and he is brought down behind the line of scrimmage. Getting in there was big Ron Moten, number 58.
My goodness, I hope we get another chance to look at this one. Perhaps we won't, but what Ron Moten did was he stuffed the offensive back right into the backfield, threw him down, and then looked for the ball carrier and got him as well. Watch on the top of your camera on your monitor right there, you'll see the running back, Highsmith. Look at Moten. He's getting tackled by the running back. He still bounces right up to make the tackle. What a play by Ron Moten.
Well, it's cooling off a little at Florida Field. The clouds are coming in. The lights are on. 2nd and 13 at the 39. Testaverde throws, and it is complete to Michael Irvin. Irvin's at the midfield stripe and is taken down as he goes into Florida territory to the 44-yard line by Adrian White, the senior from Orange Park. There you see the clouds. The lights are on at Florida Field this afternoon. We had rain here last week for the Georgia Southern game.
When that sun disappears behind the clouds, I think the temperature dropped about 15 degrees. It's really a lot cooler right here right now. That was a 17-yard gain. Testaverde had plenty of time to look out to find Irvin. Irvin did a nice job of beating Jarvis Williams in the flat.
1st and 10 on the 44 of Florida for Miami as Testaverde looks for somebody and bounces into the air and is picked off again by Testaverde, who is running with the football himself, crosses the 40 and steps out of bounds in front of the Florida bench between the 32 and the 33-yard line.
Now, it's probably been 15 or 20 years since he caught his own pass. This one is tipped by the rush. You see Clifford Charlton coming from the outside, being blocked nicely. The ball is batted away by 96, I think, at the line of scrimmage. It looked like Jeff Roth, the nose guard, batted the ball in the air. Testaverde has 4.8 speed in the 40. He knows what to do with the ball when he gets a chance to run with it. He'd rather not run with it, but it's a 13-yard gain.
And a first down at the 31-yard line of Florida for the Miami Hurricanes. The give-off is going to go to Alonzo Highsmith, and on the counter, he goes inside the 25-yard line. 8 minutes left to play first quarter. Still no score between Florida and Miami.
And it's rock'em sock'em right now down there on that field. Absolutely two heavyweights, two of the better, if not two of the best teams in the United States of America, trying to knock each other off the line of scrimmage right now.
2nd down and 3 on the inside the 25-yard line for the University of Miami as they split Irvin out to the right side. You're looking at the end zone shot there. The big number 5, Melvin Bratton, back in the ball game at the tailback spot. He takes it and goes right to the middle, off the right side, heads for the 10-yard line, crosses the 10, and fights down into the end zone. And there's a signal for a touchdown on the far side of the field by one of the officials.
Now it looks like a touchdown. Doesn't seem to be a flag on the play. Alonzo Highsmith on the lead block on the draw. This is a lead draw. Watch Alonzo Highsmith go through and pick up a linebacker. Boom, what a block right there. Then Bratton's in the secondary. Jukes Mulberry, Adrian White with great speed, just can't quite get to him. What an effort by Melvin Bratton. Tremendous effort by that young running back, 24-yard run.
Mark Selig's try for the extra point is good, and the score is Miami 7 and Florida nothing. We'll be right back, but first, we'll take time out for these messages.
Mornings around here are like fire drills. Those are my 3 alarms. Currently, they are breaking the Olympic record for speed eating. And that's why I fill their plates with family favorite ham, sausage, and bacon from Likes. This is old-fashioned goodness, because today, my firemen need it more than ever. They may not be eating slower, but they're eating better.
Family favorites from Likes. Old-fashioned goodness is better.
If you bought a new car 2 or 3 years ago, you're financing it at the highest rates ever. Interest rates are now at their lowest, and you could be driving a new Toyota car, truck, or van for the same, or probably less. I'm Doc Lebo, president of Oakland Toyota, urging you to bring your payment book along with you, and we'll show you how you can trade up to a brand new Toyota and pay less. Oakland Toyota, 1700 West Oakland Park Boulevard, just 1 block west of I-95 in Fort Lauderdale, where it's the discount that counts.
7 minutes, 22 seconds to play in the first quarter, and the Hurricanes of Miami have scored on the Florida Gators. They lead it by a score of 7-0. You are looking at the kicker for the University of Miami, Mark Selig. He is a senior from Apopka. He's got a lot of ties to the Gators. A lot of his family went to the University of Florida, and he played with several of the University of Florida athletes at Apopka. 5 plays, 58 yards, 150 the time of possession. Melvin Bratton's 24-yard run did the job. The extra point by Selig was good.
Miami looking very sharp on offense right now, being consistent with running and passing the ball. The Gators not untracked yet on offense. The Canes have got control of this ball game right now.
As Selig gets ready to move to the football and kick it away. It'll be taken by Florida at the 6, the 10, at the 15, at the 20, out of bounds along the near side at the 22-yard line. The University of Florida, and so they take over the football at the 22. It'll be 1st and 10, and that was Dwayne Glover, 33, on the return.
You'll remember last year's ball game, the ebb and flow, the way the momentum changed. The Hurricanes controlling the first quarter. The Gators controlled the second quarter. The Hurricanes controlled the third quarter, and the Gators came back in the fourth to win that game last year. Let's see if that's going to happen this afternoon. Right now, the Canes are in control.
Florida, 21 games unbeaten here at Florida Field. 1st and 10 on the 22, and the give-off is going to go to Wayne Williams, and Wayne Williams takes it up the middle and gets some yards on the play as he crosses the 25-yard line to the 27.
I think Galen Hall might have told Kerwin, let's don't get too greedy out there. Let's try and see if we can crank that running game up a little bit. Obviously, if you can crank a running game up, you not only control the ball, but you keep it away from Vinny Testaverde.
2nd down 5 on the 27 now for the Gators as they drive against the Hurricanes of Miami. The Canes with 4 down linemen defensively, and Kerwin Bell's give-off is going to go to young Mr. Williams, as that was Wayne Williams with the football, and he hits in there for maybe a yard gain. Dan Cilio, Jr. from Stamford, Connecticut, number 93, makes the tackle.
The Gators had some success with the first running play, but right there the Canes took control and shut down that running play.
It's 3rd down and 4. The ball on the 28-yard line now for Florida. They're deep in their own territory as Kerwin Bell looks to throw. He's got the time. There's a flag, and he throws out in the flat. It is complete to Wayne Williams. The midfield stripe, the 40, the 30, the 25, the 20, the 10, the 5, and into the end zone, but there was a flag on the play, so it's going to come all the way back, and it looks like it's going to be a hold against Florida.
Well, the umpire, who stands directly across from the offensive center, he's the one charged with detecting holding or not, and that's all he looks for, and he's looking right into that offensive line play, and evidently one of the Gators grabbed one of the Cane defenders. We can't quite see it right there. Perhaps Jerome Brown, number 98, was hit. Nonetheless, Kerwin did deliver for the first down. Wayne Williams is off to the races if the play had counted, but ifs and buts were Christmas nuts. What a wonderful world this would be. They're going to call that one back.
So it comes all the way back now to the 17-yard line. 3rd down and 15 for Florida.
Well, the key here is don't make a critical mistake. Not only try and pick it up, but don't make a big mistake.
Bell hit and brought down way behind the line, inside the 5-yard line.
That's what I was talking about. Either give the ball up on an interception or a sack. They treated Kerwin Bell with no respect right there. They tried to drive him into the turf, which is what you're supposed to do on defense. Good, clean play, but just a hard, aggressive play.
So that brings up 4th down, and the kicker, Jamie McAndrew.
Well, Jerome Brown is just getting through immediately. They're not even slowing him down at this point. 13-yard loss. That's the mistake I was talking about. Now they're even putting more pressure on the punter, Jamie McAndrew.
Snap is going to come from Walter Bird at the 5, and McAndrew gets it off. Perriman will take it down at the 44, running backwards at the 45, trying to turn upfield, and he is pushed out of bounds in front of the Miami bench at about the 37-yard line, and there is a flag on the play, and it looks like it came at the 39, and it may be for a flip. Kerry Watkins was the man who took him out.
He almost got to that wall. He almost got outside. Kerry Watkins, tremendous speed. He's a backup freshman cornerback. 39-yard kick out of the end zone. A nice job by McAndrew driving that ball from deep in his own end zone. And with the penalty tagged on, the Canes are going to be backed up into their own territory.
5 minutes and 13 seconds to play in the first quarter, and the Canes are leading the University of Florida by a 7-0 score. There's that clipping call against Miami. Let's take a look at it.
Yeah, right there. It was Dwayne Ferguson, Florida's second-string fullback, in on the punt coverage team, was hitting the back, and there was a clipping penalty detected.
1st and 10 at the 46 for Miami. They're in their own territory. A split backfield behind Testaverde. The give-off is going to go to Highsmith, turning it outside, and crosses the midfield stripe before he is bounced out of bounds by Lewis Oliver, number 18, and Ricky Mulberry, number 32.
Miami very impressive right now with their offensive game plan, running, throwing the football. Very efficient with what they're trying to do.
Well, they're coming off a win last week against the University of South Carolina, 34-14. Florida coming off a victory over Georgia Southern, 38-14. It'll be 2nd down 5 at the 49 for Miami, and they have moved across the midfield stripe into Florida territory as Highsmith comes to the near side, and he is stacked up and hit hard. Adrian White gets in there, along with Steve Stipe and Jarvis Williams.
Well, that support has to come up rapidly from the secondary. You can't let the guy turn the corner. You got to pressure from the secondary. They get the line blocked, but look who comes up to make the play. Jarvis Williams and Adrian White. That's what they have to do. They have to come up strong. But then they come up, and they throw a play pass on them. What a pressure situation for a safety and a cornerback to be in.
3rd and 4 for Miami as Testaverde is looking for somebody open. Testaverde hangs onto the football himself and will come out of bounds in front of the Miami bench between the 45 and the 46-yard line, and it's Steve Stipe taking him out.
Good coverage in the secondary. 4th down. Will Miami punt?
That's the call, and Jimmy Johnson is making that decision right now.
Now, they might get a little greedy right here and go for it. They have a chance to pin the Gators deep in their own territory, but they're going to go for it on 4th and looks like a good yard.
They're at the 46-yard line. 4th and a yard for the Canes. They're going for it, and there's a timeout being called by Miami, and we'll be right back after these messages.
Milk's got the kick that gives you more. Health kick. More nutrition in every pore. Health kick. I got the kick, and milk is it. For calcium and vitamins that you're so rich. So get on a health kick, let it pour. America's favorite health kick. Yeah, get on a health kick. Milk's got more. Have more milk, 'cause milk's got more. To know no boundaries, to let yourself run free. To know no boundaries is what the world should be.
Wherever there are investment opportunities, Merrill Lynch is there with the help you need to make the most of them. Because at Merrill Lynch, we believe your world should know no boundaries.
To know no boundaries.
Jimmy Johnson prowling the sideline in front of the Miami bench. The call is in, 4th down and a yard at the 46. The Canes are going for it. They lead 7-0, and they're on the Florida side of the 50. Vinny Testaverde's give is going to go to Highsmith, and he is stacked up at the line.
I don't don't think he made it.
I don't think he made it either. He didn't make it. The Florida defense has held.
Well, I think Jimmy Johnson got a little bit greedy right there. He thinks he can go in maybe and get another quick 7 on the board right there. But he also had a chance to pin the Gators deep in their own territory. The Florida offense hadn't accomplished much to this point, but he decides to go for it. Of course, you got a 235-pound back right there. He doesn't get off the ground. We can't quite see. Rondy Weston's in there making a wrap-up on the play.
The give-off is going to go to Gould, and Gould gets a couple of yards as he moves it from the 45 to the 48-yard line for Florida. Here's the freshman tailback from Browns Mills, New Jersey, a parade All-American. Last week picked up 71 yards and 15 carries. That's just under 5 yards every time he touched the football.
So much emotion is involved in these great intrastate rivalries. Florida-Miami matchup. That was a great emotional lift that the Gator defense gave the Gator offense. Let's see if they can make something happen.
2nd and 7 at the 48-yard line. Kerwin Bell's got the time, throws, and it is out. And another Gator picks it off at the 45-yard line. That would be Anthony Williams, who came up with a football close to a first down. And there's 3 minutes and 22 seconds left to play in this first quarter. The Canes are leading the Gators 7-0, and the ball bounces into the air and then is picked off by Anthony Williams, the young man out of Tampa Plant, and he carries forward to the 45-yard line. So it's 3rd down and less than a yard to go for the Gators.
Clifton Reynolds, the tight end, was the primary receiver.
And the give-off is going to go to Wayne Williams. He's across the 40, the 30 down the sideline, and goes out of bounds right here in front of the Florida crowd on the near sideline as he steps out of bounds. Just couldn't walk that tightrope.
Well, again, Wayne Williams, look at the block. Look at the block by the fullback. Again, you have to have the blocking by the lead back. Wayne Williams just cannot get his balance. He's leading, he's trying, but he's going to fall out of bounds. A big play. The Gators offense has taken advantage of the emotion given them by Clifford Charlton, who you see right there, and the Gator defense.
19-yard gain. 1st and 10 for the Gators at the 28. Kerwin Bell with the eye. The up back is Anthony Williams. Wayne Williams gets the call, and a fumble on the play. And the football was fumbled at the 26-yard line, and Miami has recovered. A big defensive play as Blades picks it off, number 36.
Now, Benny Blades picks the ball off the ground. Wayne Williams is going to get hit by, who was that, number 91 for the Canes? Rod Carter. Rod Carter knocked that ball loose.
Miami taking advantage of every opportunity, playing heads-up football here in the first quarter against the Gators. 7-0 is the score.
Last year, 4 turnovers by the Hurricanes, none by the Gators. The Gators won the game. Let's see what the turnover score is this afternoon.
1st and 10 for the Hurricanes at the 28. The give-off is going to go to Highsmith, and on the counter he goes across the 30-yard line to the 31-yard line.
Scott Armstrong
and big Rondy Weston, 68, in there to make the hit.
And Ron Moten played a nice game. Ron Moten from Clearwater, Florida.
2nd down now coming up for the Canes. 6 to go at the 32-yard line. The Gators with a 3-down lineman. As the lines get ready to collide, and the give-off is going to go to Melvin Bratton off the left side across the 35 to the 36-yard line before he is brought down short of a 1st down. And let's give that one again to Rondy Weston, getting some help too on that play from a couple of other big linemen. Noticed in there big Jeff Roth, number 96.
Roth had a great game last weekend from the nose guard position. Canes offensive line doing a nice job. David Alekna, Greg Riccozzi at the center position doing a nice job against Jeff Roth.
3rd and 1 at the 36-yard line for Miami. And the give-off again is going to go to Bratton. And let's see if he got it or if the Gators held. It looks like the Gators might have held. Gators did hold on that one. He did not get it, and here comes the punting team for Miami.
I tell you what, that Gator defense deserves a big salute right now because they're playing a powerhouse. They're playing against a powerhouse offense. Melvin Bratton, there's the big fullback, Highsmith leading. Jeff Roth just zips around Riccozzi, who is a great offensive center for the Hurricanes. Jeff Roth makes the play in the backfield.
Jeff Beagles, the punter on 4th down, the line of scrimmage, the 36-yard line, as he waits for the snap and gets it off. It booms high. Ricky Nattil watches it go, and it bounces back from the 10 to about the 13-yard line, between the 12 and the 13, where the Gators will put it in play. Good coverage by Darrell Fullington, number 19 for Miami.
Again, I cannot pat the Gator defense enough on the back right now. They're playing a tremendous Miami offensive powerhouse, and they did a nice job rising to the occasion and shutting the Canes down, forcing them to punt.
1st and 10 on the 13-yard line now for the Gators, and they have their backs up against the wall right now. Miami with the 4 down linemen. 2 linebackers playing right in the gaps, and the give-off goes to the tailback, Gould, who hits for about a yard before he is brought down by Miami.
You see Arthur White and Ricky Mulberry taking a break over under some of the air conditioning units on the sideline.
Dan Cilio, number 93, makes the tackle. It's overcast, so it's a little bit cooler than it was, but the threat of rain remains. But if the rain would stay away and would stay like this, it would be very nice. And we will be back in the second quarter, but first, we'll take time out for you to hear from your local sponsor.
So, what did you do today?
I opened a savings account at Consolidated Bank for the baby.
Didn't you do that yesterday?
No, yesterday I bought a CD and started a money management account.
I suppose that next you'll get him a personal checking account.
No, I did that last week.
When you're planning for your family's future, Consolidated Bank has a long list of investment alternatives to help you.
So, what else did you get for the baby?
Oh, just a little something for the future.
Tropical Chevrolet presents a used car extravaganza thanks to GM's 2.9% financing.
Hi, I'm Neil Smith for Tropical Chevrolet. People are just pouring in for this 2.9% financing, so we're overflowing with trade-in.
Like this 86 Camaro with T-top, just $10,488, or this 84 Celebrity Eurosport, like new, just $56.99, or this 84 Ford Escort, only 26,000 miles, just $36.88.
So come see me at Tropical Chevrolet.
Biscayne and 88th Miami Shores.
Looks like you're trimming down.
We sure are.
Yeah, and it's costing us plenty.
Winn-Dixie is trimming down, too, and it won't cost you a nickel.
Yeah?
Winn-Dixie's always trimmed its beef close. Our quarter-inch trim on WD brand U.S. choice steaks means less fat, more value. More tender, great-tasting beef from the beef people.
Yeah. Can I have a steak now?
Only 2 more miles.
Winn-Dixie's changing right with you.
When you purchase a suit or sport jacket or even slacks from Peter Kent, you get a perfect fit, a tittle look that flatters you. You also get our people and our 100% guarantee. No cost forever for any alterations you may need. You gain or lose weight or need a new button or zippers, Peter Kent takes 100% good care of you. Name brands at discount prices. For over 40 years, Peter Kent, the discounter in the wholesale fashion district of Miami. Hey, we're not the easiest place to find, so we make it worth your while.
2nd down 9, ball on the 14-yard line right now as we begin the second quarter. The Hurricanes of Miami are leading the Florida Gators by a score of 7-0 at Florida Field. Now the Gators will be driving from the right of your screen to the left, which means in our stadium they will be headed from the south to the north.
18 yards total offense for the Gator offense in the first quarter. That's not going to win many ball games, especially when you're playing a team the caliber of the Miami Hurricanes. They need to crank some of that offensive power up.
High formation being used by Kerwin Bell as he looks to throw, and does, and it's complete to Anthony Williams. And Anthony is hit at the 18-yard line as he catches the football. Pretty nice gain. Winston Moss, number 99, makes the tackle.
A lot of pursuit by the Canes. After Anthony Williams slipped out to the flat there, Kerwin had a chance to take a look right there. in the first quarter, he had very little time to look downfield. Right there, he had some time when he picked out his receiver and delivered a strike to Anthony Williams.
Dwayne Ferguson, 38, checks into the ball game now for the University of Florida Gators. Also number 39 checking into the game, Cedric Smith at the fullback position. Third down and 6 at the 17. As the give-off goes to Gould. Gould spins forward across the 20 to the 21-yard line.
Close, but he didn't make it. It looks like the Canes held another nice job by that Cane defense.
That brings on McAndrew, the punter, once again. Winston Moss and George Myra Jr. made the tackle on that last play.
Again, as reflect back with you on last year's game, the momentum just made dramatic changes back and forth. One team in complete control, and then the other one would come back and take control. Right now, the Canes have dominated the first quarter, and they're off to a good start early in the second.
The snap coming from the 22 on fourth down, and McAndrew gets it off. It's one of those knuckleballs. Perriman takes it at the 39. He's across the 40. He's at the 45-yard line and comes out of bounds in front of the Florida bench. And taking him out for the Gators, number 59, Jason Lambert. Albert the Alligator.
Albert doing his best to get the Gators fired up. Of course, it doesn't take much when you play the Miami Hurricanes to get fired up, and it's true for them as well. They come to Florida Field, you know those Canes were pumped.
It's an intense rivalry, as you point out at the beginning of the game. 39-yard boot, a 6-yard return for Miami.
Look at the field position again. The Canes getting excellent field position.
At the 46-yard line, Vinny Testaverde with a split backfield behind him as he looks, and he's going to go long, and it is too long. Intended for Perriman, who was deep downfield, and getting some pretty good coverage there from Jarvis Williams, 26. Matter of fact, Brett thinks it was too good.
Well, he almost had the cornerback beat right there. Testaverde had all kinds of time. I think it was Jarvis Williams on the coverage. Jarvis turned him loose the last second as he made his turn up the field. Testaverde just laid it out there too far. What a powerful arm he has.
Second down and 10 on the 46-yard line again for Miami. As we begin the second quarter, the Canes up 7-0 on the Gators, and Vinny Testaverde of Miami throws. Picked off by Florida. Jarvis Williams, 26. Jarvis Williams with a football coming cross field now. He's at the 30-yard line. He has turned up at the 25, and he comes out of bounds here on the near sideline at the 21-yard line. Taking him out, Alfredo Roberts, the tight end for Miami. Number 87.
Testaverde, the ball just slipped out of his hands. It looked like he threw it way over the head of Blades, his wide receiver. The ball just, what they call, takes off on him right here. Jarvis Williams is standing out there and says, my goodness, look what I found. A nice run by Jarvis. He's going to make a big cutback right here and pick up another 10 or 15 yards. The Gators hustling down to make some blocks for him. Only the tight end has the speed to come over and make the play, and he does as he knocks Jarvis out on the 21-yard line, a 36-yard run after the interception.
First and 10 at the 21 for Florida in Miami territory. The give-off is going to go to the tailback, who is stacked up as he hits the line. That is Anthony Williams, 36. Jerome Brown brings him down.
Well, we talked about the quarterback matchup. Let's see what's happening right now. Testaverde 3 for 8 for 39 yards. Kerwin Bell 2 for 5 for 9 yards. I think one of the stories that's not told in the stats right there is Testaverde's getting the time to throw and Kerwin Bell is not.
Second down, 10. Ball remaining on the 21-yard line as we look at Kerwin Bell with the I formation. Kerwin Bell looks to throw and does, and it is incomplete. Held on to, but not long enough by Anthony Williams, 36, and he was really getting the pressure from the Miami defense from George Myra Jr., 45.
Yeah, that ball was a little too hot for him, but you got to catch that ball. You need to catch it in a big series, an important series like this, as your team is trying to move into scoring position. You just couldn't quite come up with it. Kerwin kind of short-armed it because he was getting some rush and really zipped that ball in there.
George Myra Jr.'s father, a great quarterback for the University of Miami. And later in professional football, 3rd and 10, the ball on the 21-yard line still for Florida as Kerwin Bell unloads, and it is incomplete. The intended receiver was Wayne Williams, 23, coming out of the backfield, but it falls as incomplete as the pressure being put on by the University of Miami. And Florida's going to go for the field goal, and here is Jeff Dawson from Lantana, Florida, walking on.
Well, last week the Hurricanes shut out the Gamecocks in South Carolina 6 straight consecutive offensive series, making them either punt or the Gamecocks gave up the ball with a fumble or an interception. So you're looking at a terrific defense with the Hurricanes.
There is the attempted field goal by Jeff Dawson, and it is no good.
Flag on the play.
Remains 7-0, but there's a flag on the play. A flag on the play, and let's see what the call is.
Roughing the kicker. What a critical mistake. 5-yard, unintentional, I think is what they're calling. So it's going to be a 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
So Florida gets a little bit of a break here as the football moves down to between the 15 and the 16-yard line. And that was the call against Miami.
Well, my mistake. It's not an automatic first down. All that happens is he gets another opportunity a little closer in.
Well, this time the kick is going to come from the 22-yard line, so it'll be a 32-yard attempt by Jeff Dawson. Dawson's foot is into it. It's got the distance, and it is good. And the score is now Miami 7, the Florida Gators on the board with 3. We'll be right back after these messages.
Before you draw a conclusion about health care insurance, remember this card and its instant recognition anywhere in America. Remember that no one works harder to provide local, reliable service statewide. Remember the wide choice of health care programs, quality programs at affordable costs. Finding answers to health care costs is what we've done for over 40 years, longer than anyone else. When you remember that, there's only one conclusion to draw: Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Florida.
Gator fans, are you tired of searching through your sports section for scraps of information about your team? I'm David Sturt, publisher of Gator Bait, Florida's only sports weekly devoted to Gator coverage. It's all here: game recaps, player features, and extensive recruiting reports. 38 big issues for just $30. Subscribe now and I'll send you a free copy of the Florida Football Yearbook. Call me collect at 904-372-1215 to order your subscription. Don't wait. Get Gator Bait.
Well, Florida's on the board now with 3 points. The Hurricanes leading 7-3, and so that means the Gators, John David Francis, will be kicking. 12 minutes, 13 seconds left to play in the first half.
That 3 points, a direct result of a turnover. Credit the Gator defense for that 3 points.
32-yard field goal by Jeff Dawson puts Florida on the board as Francis kicks off. And it goes across the goal. A lot of distance on it. No run back on that one. As John David Francis got his foot into it, and Darrell Oliver, 37, just watched it roll on by.
You can't ask any more from your kickoff man now that he kicks off from the 35 to kick it in the opponent's end zone and force him to come out from the 20.
4 plays, 5 yards, 53 seconds possession. Jeff Dawson with a field goal, and here is Vinny Testaverde. 1st and 10 on the 20 now for the Miami Hurricanes. They will use Darrell Oliver, 37, as the up-back behind Vinny Testaverde in the I. And the give-off is going to go to Warren Williams, and he comes up the middle across the 30 and to the 32-yard line before he's brought down, but he's got the first down.
Well, again, they're in the secondary. The secondary's making the play. Just a tremendous job by that offensive line. David Alekna, Greg Riccozzi, Paul O'Connor, John O'Neill. Just doing a nice job against the Gator defense. Darrell Oliver throwing a nice job, nice block. Williams was one of the better backs in the Gator game last year for the Hurricanes.
1st and 10 on the 32-yard line for Miami as Testaverde's give-off goes to Oliver, who cuts upfield across the 35 to the 36-yard line before the University of Florida brings him down, and Arthur White, 43, makes the hit.
I'm so impressed with this Miami Hurricane team right now. They're just, they got some tremendous talent out there.
Galen Hall's marked 17-1-1 over the 84-85 seasons, the best coaching record in the country for that time frame. What a great job he's done here at Florida. 2nd and 5 on the 36-yard line. To give off again to Warren Williams as he fights across the 40 and is stopped by Keith Williams, the big senior left tackle from Milton, Florida, and Jeff Roth, a sophomore middle guard from Seminole.
Well, Jeff Roth got some consideration for our Mid-State Federal Player of the Game last week, and again, he'll be under consideration this afternoon as we look for that Mid-State Federal Player of the Game.
3rd down and 2, the ball on the 40. Testaverde with a slot to the right side. As he looks at Florida, he pitches to Warren Williams. Williams turning the near side and hit and brought down, but it looks like he's got the first down. Making the hit, Adrian White and Ricky Mulberry. He's got the first down to the, looks like they're going to spot it down at the 43-yard line.
The Canes did a great job right there with the tight end and tackle double teaming the outside linebacker, Ron Moten, and getting around the corner. It's tough when you got two big guys on you, and the Canes did a great job of turning that corner on offense.
Again, the eye being used by Testaverde, 33 Perriman at the bottom of your screen on first down. He looks and goes long, 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 and it's going to be intercepted by Florida, and picking it off once again is Jarvis Williams. Jarvis coming up the near sideline, comes out in front of the Florida bench as he crosses the 35 to the 36-yard line. 2 interceptions this afternoon for Mr. Williams.
Well, Testaverde has all the time in the world to look down the field, and he wants the bomb. Jarvis Williams is making the coverage right there. Jarvis has a read on the ball all the way. Again, we're talking about turnovers, field position. The Gator defense right here gets a turnover for that Florida offense. There's going to be a penalty on the play. Daryl Oliver and one of the Gators were involved in some fisticuffs, and the Gators, as always, made the second hit.
Penalty going against the University of Miami, and that moves it across the midfield stripe into the 49 of Miami.
The point I was trying to make is generally when you retaliate, when you're hit with what you consider a cheap shot, regardless of whether it is or not, and you respond, you're usually going to get a penalty if you retaliate. But right there, the Gators came out and won that penalty march off, and it's in Hurricane territory.
Moves to the 49. Jarvis Williams, as you can see, second interception today. First down and 10 at the 49 for the Gators. They trail the Canes of Miami up 7-3 with 9 minutes and 56 seconds to play in the second quarter.
Well, the thing that has to get your attention, even though Testaverde did throw the interception on that series, and he threw one on the series before, he's got so much time back there, it's scary to think what he might accomplish when he starts hitting his receivers.
Brett Wickman, 20, bottom of your screen. The I formation, Kerwin Bell's give is going to go off to number 37, and that would be Tony Loebmack, the freshman from Tallahassee Leon High School, 5'8", 178-pounder, averaged almost 11 yards per carry last week.
Another one of those young Gator tailbacks that gained over 200 yards against Georgia Southern. Lomack's not a big running back at all. 5'8", 178, but he's got some speed burner speed.
7 yards on the carry, 2nd and 3 at the 41. This time it is Octavius Gould, and Gould down to the 30-yard line for another first down. Benny Blades, the free safety, junior from Fort Lauderdale, brings him down.
Watch the blocks. Watch Bob Sims, number 77, and it's David Williams, number 73. They're going to make the big blocks up there for Lomack. No one is even near him. He's in the secondary before he gets popped in the back. An 11-yard gain by Lomack.
First and 10 at the 30. 8:50 to play in the second period, and it is once again Octavius Gould getting the call, picks up some tough yardage. Jerome Brown, big senior from Brooksville, makes the hit for Miami.
Hernando High School, Brooksville, Florida. Jerome Brown, he's got to be one of the best players that Hernando has ever
They've turned out some great ones.
They sure have.
Second down, 7, ball on the 27-yard line now for Florida. Gould 31 as you take a look at our end zone shot. Dots the eye behind Kerwin Bell, the quarterback, and Bell rolling, throws a quick one out in the flat. He's got his fullback coming out of the backfield, Cedric Smith, number 39, a freshman from Enterprise, Alabama.
John L. Williams last year got All-American notice because he could catch the ball coming out of the flat. Your fullback is so important catching the ball. Not only does he have to run and block, but he's got to catch the ball. And Anthony Williams does a terrific job right there, catching the ball and almost picking up the first down. It's 3rd and inches.
At the 20 for the Gators of Florida. Again, the eye being used by Kerwin Bell. Frank McCarthy, the center, up over the football. And the give-off goes to Gould, and Gould's going to be close to the first down. Let's see if he's got it.
If he got it, it was because of second effort on his own part. He was hitting the backfield, put one hand down, and continued toward the line of scrimmage, almost crossing that 20-yard line. It's going to be very close. He needed to make inches. Let's see if he made it.
Well, I think they're going to have to bring the chain gang across and check it out to see if he's got it or not. Kerwin Bell standing right there. That's George Myra Jr., 45 to the left.
He got it.
Picks up the first down. Keeps Florida's drive alive. 8 minutes and 1 second to play in the first half. And the Hurricanes of Miami drew first blood. They lead by a score of 7-3 on the Gators. The Gators on the board by virtue of Jeff Dawson's 32-yard field goal.
The Gators have yet to be consistent on offense in the first quarter and much of the second quarter, but right now they're looking like a terrific offensive unit. Let's see if they can proceed right into that end zone.
High formation being used, 4 down linemen. The Miami defensive scheme, and Bell unloads, intended for Hodges, and it falls as incomplete. Hodges on the post. Tolbert Bain, the coverage man for Miami, number 18.
Kerwin makes a quick pitch action to the right, takes one step back. Hodges is sprinting towards the goalpost. He has Bain beaten badly, but Kerwin just doesn't get the ball to him. They just weren't quite able to connect, but Hodges was wide open. Boy, Kerwin's licking his chops about getting another opportunity to do that.
All right, let's give you some information. We just received Daryl Oliver has been ejected from the game. Second down 10 on the 20 for Florida as they drive against Miami. It is Gould with the carry to the 18-yard line, and George Myra Jr. makes the tackle.
George Myra Jr. turns maybe a 12 or 15-yard gain into a 2-yard gain. He came off his block just at the last minute to make that tackle, or Gould would still be running with the ball. Nice play by George Myra Jr.
3rd down and 8 on the 18-yard line now. Octavius Gould, 7 carries for 26 yards this afternoon. A split backfield behind Kerwin Bell. As Bell looks, can't find anybody, and now he throws a quick one, and he's got his man inside the 10-yard line, and down to the 8-yard line goes number 31, Octavius Gould, coming out of the backfield.
All right,
the football.
All right, Kerwin Bell, and all right offensive line. They give him some protection. Look at Sims and Jimmy Davis and McCarthy fighting. There's big David Williams driving his man to the inside. Kerwin gets that extra second, gives a little pump, finds the young freshman. What a heady young freshman. He continues with his pattern. He's looking for the football, and Kerwin Bell delivers to him. A big first down by the Gators.
First and goal at the 8-yard line for Florida. I formation. The give-off is going to go to Gould. Goes straight up the middle into the 1-yard line. Flag on the play, and it could have been. We'll have to wait and see. It is a motion call against Florida.
Yeah, they caught the fullback. I think it was David Ferguson, just leaning a little bit before the snap. They say that turnovers and mistakes come back to haunt you in big ball games. Watch the fullback. Well, I didn't see him right there. I don't know who moved. Cedric Smith was playing the fullback position.
looked like he jumped a split second before the ball was snapped. So it was a good call by the officials. First and goal at the 13-yard line.
Look at that difference. What did he get to the 2-yard line? Would have beens and could have beens. Would have beens and could have beens.
High formation now for Florida as they drive on Miami. And the give-off again goes to Octavius Gould, and he is dragged down behind the line of scrimmage. Good penetration by Randy Shannon, the strong side linebacker, number 22 for the University of Miami.
Yeah, he was dogging from his linebacker position. Whenever a linebacker comes in, they call it a dog. Whenever someone from the secondary comes in, they call it a blitz. That was just a strong side linebacker shooting the gap right there. I don't know if he was guessing or if he was given that responsibility, but he sure made a big play.
5 minutes and 45 seconds to play in the first half. The Hurricanes lead the Gators 7-3. Florida with the football, second down on the 11-yard line. Octavius Gould, and Octavius Gould is stacked up, brought down right outside the 10-yard line. So for Octavius Gould, a tough effort. Tolbert Bain and Derwin Jones make the hit for Miami. Bain 18, Jones 86. There you see the story up on the board as Galen Hall talks with his coaches.
Clifton Reynolds comes in at the tight end position, number 81. 87, Rodney Jones comes out.
Ricky Nattil to the left of your screen as Kerwin Bell is looking and brought down behind the line of scrimmage. And bring him down, Dan Stubbs, 96. Junior left end for the Miami Hurricanes. And that brings on Jeff Dawson once again.
Now just a great play by Stubbs. It looked like Jeff Zimmerman had him one-on-one right there, but Stubbs got on the corner and hit Kerwin deep in the backfield. Big loss for the quarterback, and now Jeff Dawson comes out to try the three-pointer.
Well, the kick is going to come from the 29-yard line, so that means it is a 39-yard attempt, and his foot is into it. It has the distance. Let's see if it got it, and it did. And so the Gators are on the board once again, and the score is now Miami 7 and Florida 6. We'll be right back after this word from your local sponsors.
When it comes to making financial decisions, look at all the alternatives and go with the best deal. That's why we financed our home at Consolidated Bank. They offer us a good rate and excellent terms on our mortgage. Come to think of it, they gave us a great deal on our auto loan, too. In fact, borrowing money at Consolidated is so easy that I may buy myself a new boat.
Did I hear you say mink coat?
No, I said boat. Can't win them all.
If you bought a new car 2 or 3 years ago, you're financing it at the highest rates ever. Interest rates are now at their lowest, and you could be driving a new Toyota car, truck, or van for the same or probably less. I'm Doc Lebo, president of Oakland Toyota, urging you to bring your payment book along with you, and we'll show you how you can trade up to a brand new Toyota and pay less. Oakland Toyota, 1700 West Oakland Park Boulevard, just 1 block west of I-95 in Fort Lauderdale, where it's the discount that counts.
Field goals for 6 points this afternoon. Miami 1 touchdown, 1 extra point. The Hurricanes lead 7-6 at Florida Field as the Gators begin to regain some momentum, Jim Yarbrough.
Well, momentum is so critical in any ball game, and the Miami just dominated the first quarter. The Gators came back somewhat, but Miami's still in control of this ball game.
Ball being returned by Bratton, and Bratton gets across the 20 to the 21-yard line before he is brought down by Florida's special teams. So they take him down, and that means that Miami puts the ball in play at the 24-yard line. That was a 23-yard return.
Hard to believe here we are with only 4 minutes left in the second quarter, and Vinny Testaverde has only 39 yards passing, and Kerwin Bell has only 25. These are the two of the better, if not the best passers in college football, and the yards just have not been there for them this afternoon.
First and 10 at the 24-yard line for the Miami Hurricanes. Vinny Testaverde is the quarterback, and his give-off goes to Alonzo Highsmith, who hits the line of scrimmage and simply slips right at the line. He might have picked up a yard, slid forward perhaps. So that brings up second down. They give him a yard. That'll mean 9 yards to go on the 25-yard line as we look at Jimmy Johnson surveying his troops as they come out of the huddle.
And he's got to be pleased with what he's looking at.
Well, they took control at the beginning, but then Florida began to make a comeback, and they regained some momentum on that last drive after the Jarvis Williams interception. Long pass, incomplete. It was intended for Michael Irvin and goes as incomplete. And that was Lewis Oliver, the sophomore from Belgrade, number 18, who was over there. That was a 12-play drive, 42 yards, 5 minutes, 36 seconds. Possession time, Jeff Dawson's field goal does the job.
Adrian White, the free safety's on a blitz. You see him get tackled literally in the backfield right there. Look at Lewis Oliver make the big hit on Irvin, was it out there? Number 47?
47, Michael Irvin. Third down and 9 on the 25-yard line as Testaverde looks at the Florida defense. Testaverde looking to throw and does, and it is incomplete. It was intended for Brian Blades, number 9, but goes as incomplete again. Lewis Oliver right there to really put the pressure on.
Big standing O for that Gator defense. Not often do you go out on the field and make Miami give the ball up after 3 offensive attempts. There's some Gator fans that are seeing the momentum turn, and that's got them excited.
Jeff Beagles is the punter. Scottsdale, Arizona, his hometown, waits for the snap and kicks it. Gets it off way high, and it will hit down and roll, taking a Miami roll down just outside the 20 at the 22-yard line.
Well, there's a 10-yard mistake. Jarvis Williams and Ricky Natil did not communicate. They were misunderstanding each other as they were signaling for the fair catch, so no one caught the ball, and the ball bounced for another 15 yards.
44 down there in a hurry, Steve Stafford, and so was number 55 for Miami, Danny Marsical.
42-yard punt, of which, 12-15 yards was on the roll.
First and 10 at the 23 for Florida. And they're in their own territory as Kerwin Bell goes with the I formation in a slot. Natil 89 to the right of your screen as the slot back. The give-off goes to the tailback straight up the middle, and we're talking about Wayne Williams, the sophomore from Titusville, who gets a little yardage on the play, and Derwin Jones, 86, a junior from the University of Miami, number 86, brings him down.
Well, the Gators did have a good series the last time they had the football. Let's see if they can put 2 back-to-back.
Less than 3 minutes to play in the first half. The Hurricanes lead 7-6. Hurricanes still stay with the 4-down lineman. The I formation with a slot being used by Florida. Kerwin Bell looks, and he's got his man coming out of the backfield, Cedric Smith, number 39, for the first down. Across the 35-yard line to the 37. Tolbert Bain, the junior right corner, number 18, making the tackle for Miami.
Good possession football. Try and hit the back, maybe the tight end. Move the chains, move the chains. That's what that offense is thinking.
First and 10 on the 37. The give-off goes to Wayne Williams off the right side. Gets across the 40 to the 41-yard line. Rod Carter, weak side linebacker, sophomore from Fort Lauderdale, makes the tackle.
Big Dwayne Ferguson, number 38, enters the ball game. Cedric Smith comes out. The Gators using 5 or 6 running backs. As we look at the Testaverde-Bell match-off, still not a whole lot of yards produced by those young men through the air this afternoon.
2nd and 6 at the 41, and the give-off is going to go to the tailback, and that is Wayne Williams again, as he is hit and stacked up by Dan Cilio, the junior left tackle from Stamford, Connecticut.
Offsides against the University of Miami will be marked off a 5-yard penalty. Let's tip our hats to the defenses. What do you say, Jim Gallagher? Both of these defensive units have just played magnificently, and they're not playing against any slouches, are they? They're playing against some magnificent offensive talent, and both defenses are doing a terrific job.
They're well prepared, both very, very well prepared. Of course, you must remember this, too, that all week at practice, the defense, since both teams run that similar passing type offense, they see passing.
Very true.
So they're used to working against that, but if you had to give out first half game balls, then it'd probably have to go to the entire defensive units and coaching staffs of both squads.
I agree.
Second, less than a yard on the 46-yard line for Florida. as Kerwin Bell rolls and throws, and it is incomplete. Intended for number 38 coming out of the backfield, Dwayne Ferguson at the fullback position. Bounces off his hands. Rod Carter was the pressure guy for the University of Miami, number 91.
Well, still what's it going to be, third and short situation. Gators have an excellent chance to pick up another first down. The clock is ticking down, 1:34. The clock is stopped with that incomplete pass. The Gators are obviously thinking, can we score before the half? Can we get some more points before this half is over?
Slot offense to the right side being run by Florida. Now there are whistles as Bell takes the snap. Could be for too much time.
No, I think there was 5 seconds left on the clock when they blew the whistle. I don't know what the problem is.
Looks like somebody might have jumped. We'll just see that call and just do it. Well, we're waiting for him to give it to us. Minute 34 to play first half, and the Hurricanes are leading by a 7-6 score on the University of Florida Gators at Florida Field. Been interesting so far this afternoon.
What do you call that? An inadvertent whistle, right? I like it when the referee tries to erase the fact that they threw a penalty. It looks like he's waving home to mom. He takes his flag out and kind of does an erase motion in the...
You can't hide in front of almost 80,000 people, though. Third, less than a yard. Ball on the 46-yard line as Kerwin Bell, with the I formation, throws a quick pass, and it's complete to Wickman into Miami territory. First down, Gators.
Kerwin Bell walks up to the line of scrimmage, decides that that's the play he wants to call, so he makes a checkoff. Hits his good friend Brett Wickman, who's going to be a doctor one of these days. It's going to be Dr. Wickman. Brett, with the terrific hands, makes the reception. First down for the Gators.
At the 49-yard line of Miami, as Kerwin Bell again has the time to throw this time and delivers again. Along the near sideline at the 37-yard line. Tolbert Bain takes him out. So Bain's been on the coverage both times, been there, but Wickman's a very, very sure-handed possession receiver.
And they stop the clock. Not only catch the football, move the chains, but get out of bounds. Stop the clock. That sideline right now is on the University of Florida's offensive team. That sideline is your teammate. The wide receivers have to realize that. Catch the ball, get out of bounds if you can.
54 seconds to play first half, and the give-off goes to Wayne Williams. He cuts upfield and to the 32-yard line before he is brought down by Dan Cilio, 93.
Well, that Gator offense is clicking on all cylinders right now. 38 seconds. Hurry up. The play is called at the line of scrimmage.
Kerwin Bell looks to throw and does again. This time he's got Wickman again, who steps out at the 23-yard line. Tolbert Bain is right there with him.
Now, Tolbert Bain's not going to let that happen all day long. He's going to realize that Brett Wickman's not going to run by him. He doesn't have that kind of speed. He's going to tighten up and play Wickman. He just can't let that happen. He knows he can't run by him, so he's going to have to tighten up. And he might tighten up, and Kerwin might try and get the ball out there. And Bain is going to be looking for that interception.
We'll be back with more, but first we're going to take time out for your local sponsors.
When you buy a steak, you want to pay for a steak, not for fat. So go to Winn-Dixie, you know, the beef people. They've got a 1/4-inch trim on their WD brand U.S. Choice beef. Less fat, more value. I like that. But what I really love about this commercial is if I goof up, I get more great tasting steak. So look for the 1/4-inch trim. Oops! Cut.
Winn-Dixie's changing right with you.
Just once more, I'll get it.
Tropical Chevrolet presents a used car extravaganza thanks to GM's 2.9% financing.
Hi, I'm Neil Smith for Tropical Chevrolet. People are just pouring in for this 2.9% financing, so we're overflowing with trade-in.
Like this 86 Camaro with T-top, just $10,488, or this 84 Celebrity Eurosport, like new, just $56.99, or this 84 Ford Escort, only 26,000 miles, just $36.88.
So come see me at Tropical Chevrolet.
Biscayne and 88th Miami Shores.
First down and 10. The ball on the 23-yard line of Miami. Florida in possession. 31 seconds to play in the first half. The Hurricanes have a 1.7-6 lead on the Gators.
31 seconds is a lot of time, too, Jim Gallagher.
Split backfield behind Kerwin Bell. Bell drops. Looks, he's going to go long for the end zone, and they had to let that one go because there was good coverage on number 21, Darrell Willard, down there, and there are flags on the field.
Looked like the tight end, Rodney Jones, got a little anxious, missed the snap count. That play didn't count from the start. Kerwin realized that, so he just dumps it as far as he can into the crowd.
25 seconds left on the clock in the first half. Galen Hall talks with Kerwin Bell. What a great career he had as the offensive coordinator at the University of Oklahoma, becoming the offensive coordinator at Florida and then the head coach, and what a super performance he has turned in that position here in Gainesville.
And the nice thing about that relationship, Galen Hall, Kerwin Bell, Galen was a quarterback. He knows what Kerwin's looking for. He knows what Kerwin should be looking for, and he's talking to him. The Gators, 3 penalties, 20 yards. That was a crucial penalty right there.
First and 15. The ball now on the 28-yard line for Florida as Kerwin Bell gives off on the delayed draw. Wayne Williams still on his feet. Fights forward to the 25-yard line, but brought down.
All right, the clock is ticking. 15, 14. Kerwin's got to be aware where the clock is.
12 seconds. 9 seconds. With 9 seconds, Florida has called a timeout. And Kerwin Bell comes across to talk with Galen Hall. 9 seconds to play in the first half.
I think Kerwin was looking at the second clock on the field that tells how many seconds you have to get out of the huddle and snap the ball rather than the clock on the scoreboard. And Brett Wickman saw that the clock was ticking down, so Brett signaled the timeout, and wisely done.
Well, we're going to see another field goal attempt by Jeff Dawson. That's the call from the sideline as you look at Phil Maggio, the line coach here at the University of Florida for so many years, and a great lineman himself during his playing days.
Phil Maggio played here at the University of Florida when I came to Gainesville, and he's done a super job since he left Plant High School in Tampa to join the staff here at the University of Florida and develop these terrific young offensive linemen. Talking about Phil Maggio.
32-yard line is where the kick will come from, so we're talking about a 42-yard attempt by Jeff Dawson. Or I guess they'll spot it down, they say, at the 31-yard line. So it'll be a 41-yard attempt by Dawson. Waiting for the snap, and his foot is into it, and it is good. And the University of Florida has taken the lead with 5 seconds to play in the first half on the Hurricanes of Miami, 9-7. Jeff Dawson boots it through. A 41-yard field goal for Dawson, and the University of Florida Gators take a 2-point lead on Miami.
3 for 3 for that young field goal kicker. You can't ask for more than that.
He's done a great job during his career here at the University of Florida, and certainly this afternoon he has.
University police.
Giving Florida that lead.
Brett Wickman, too, Jim, deserves a big pat on the back for that series, giving young Dawson a chance to kick that third field goal. What he came up with 3 receptions, I believe, in that one drive.
Now we'll see what Miami is going to do with 5 seconds to play in the first half. John David Francis will boot it off. As he takes his time about getting it ready. One thing about John David, you don't hurry him very much.
Well, he wants to get in his camera time, you know.
That's right.
He's only on the field so long, so he wasn't born yesterday. He knows where that camera is.
Waiting to move to the football. And he does. It is a squib kicker and will bounce, and J.C. Penney picks it up to 7, bobbles it. Now he's at the 10, he's at the 15, the 20, coming cross field. He's at the 25-yard line, and he is dragged down at the 32-yard line by the University of Florida's number 63, Tracy Daniels. So Daniels brings him down, and that is the end of the first half, with the Gators of Florida leading the Hurricanes of Miami at Florida Field 9-7. Very interesting first half with, as you pointed out so astutely a little earlier, the defense is really being much more dominant than the highly publicized quarterback.
What a battle. The Gators having 110 yards total offense. The Canes having 114. Kerwin Bell having 61 yards in the air, most of it coming in that last drive. Testaverde only 39 yards. 9 first downs for the Gators, 7 for the Canes. Just a tremendous tribute to 2 powerhouse defenses defensive units stopping all that talent that the other teams have on offense.
Now, the call is, what happens when they come out in the second half? What does Galen Hall tell his Gators? What does Jimmy Johnson tell his Hurricanes?
Well, they say, hey, it's a new ball game. The second half, everything that happened in the first half is irrelevant. Forget about it. Forget the good. Forget the bad. We got one half to play. We know it's going to be knocked down, drag out. We knew that when we got on the bus to come here to play. We knew that when we suited up a little bit earlier this afternoon. It's a ball game that's going to be won in the second half.
We'll have the second half after halftime, but right now, we're going to take time out for these messages.
Wait, get Gator Bait.
Mornings around here are like fire drills. Those are my 3 alarms. Currently, they are breaking the Olympic record for speed eating. And that's why I fill their plates with family favorite ham, sausage, and bacon from Likes. This is old-fashioned goodness, because today, my firemen need it more than ever. They may not be eating slower, but they're eating better.
Family favorites from Likes. Old-fashioned goodness is better. Earning a perfect 10 in anything is tough. But there is one carpet that earns a perfect 10. One carpet combines luxury and beauty with durability. One carpet is guaranteed against matting and crushing for 10 full years. One carpet is a perfect 10. Anything Goes Carpet by Armstrong.
Turn on the juice, let it flow. Turn on the juice, let it go. Orange juice for your body, turn it on to keep it. Turn it on all you want, it's got a taste that won't quit. Turn it on, turn on the juice, turn on the juice.
America's turning on to 100% pure orange juice, which carries Florida's seal of approval. That means juice packed to standards even higher than the federal government.
Turn it on, turn on the juice. Look for the seal.
National Car Rental, the official car rental of the Florida Gators. With just one phone call to 1-800-CAR-RENT, you may reserve a car at National Car Rental at 3,000 locations in over 116 countries and territories around the world. Florida football on the Gator Television Network will be back after these messages.
WPLG, Miami, Fort Lauderdale.
I'm going to do it. I'm going to lose 10 pounds, so I'm starting at Winn-Dixie. From now on, I'm going for low fat, low sugar, and low prices. But I gotta have some kind of dessert. I think I'm going to make it.
Winn-Dixie's changing right with you.
Winn-Dixie, America's supermarket. It's fantastic time at Oakland Toyota. This is Doc Lebo, president of Oakland Toyota, with fantastic discounts on our fantastic selection of Toyota vans and the all-new Toyota Dolphin, the most fantastic economical motorhome ever, complete with bath, kitchen, and sleeping accommodations. So hurry in and see all the different colors and options you can choose from. Oakland Toyota, 1700 West Oakland Park Boulevard, just 1 block west of I-95 in Fort Lauderdale, where it's always the discount that counts.
So, what did you do today?
I opened a savings account at Consolidated Bank for the baby.
Didn't you do that yesterday?
No, yesterday I bought a CD and started a money management account.
I suppose that next you'll get him a personal checking account.
No, I did that last week.
When you're planning for your family's future, Consolidated Bank has a long list of investment alternatives to help you.
So, what else did you get for the baby?
Oh, just a little something for the future.
For shopping fun at South Florida's first and finest indoor flea markets, in Dade, it's the 7th Avenue and North Miami flea markets at Northwest 140th Street. In Broward, it's the Oakland Park Boulevard flea market at Northwest 31st Avenue. There are hundreds of selling booths featuring all new merchandise with the best prices in town. Open Thursday through Sunday. Plenty of free parking and free admission at the 7th Avenue and North Miami flea markets and at the Oakland Park Boulevard flea market. There are so many bargains you'll have to see it to believe it. Believe it. Believe it.
Florida from the University of Michigan. Perhaps, Dean, you could tell us a little bit about your background and about the gentleman you replaced.
My background is I have education degrees from the University of Wisconsin and from Stanford University, and was a professor in the Engineering College at Michigan prior to becoming a professor in the Business School at Michigan. I'm replacing Bob Lanzalotti, who spent 17 years as the College of Business Dean here at the University of Florida.
One of the things that the University of Florida's College of Business Administration has been called is a very, very valuable tool as far as the state outreach is concerned. Can you talk a little bit about the state and national level and the resources?
Well, a major component of the college's outreach to the state is the fact that we have 20,000 graduates who hold many important jobs across the state. We produce about 1,000 students a year that are hired by different companies in the state, bachelor's level, master's level, and a PhD. We also have a very effective business economics bureau that produces forecasts, population estimates, and consumer attitude surveys for both state government and for corporate activities throughout the state.
One of the things I noticed that you did this summer was to visit with some of the business community leaders throughout the state.
One of the decisions I made initially was to get out and find out what people in the community, particularly alumni and friends, thought about the university and get them involved. We had receptions in 4 cities, and we're now about to announce 4 more receptions. We'll get a chance to meet alumni and friends. We're also announcing a set of luncheons where we'll bring faculty members, our best faculty members, to different cities and let them talk about business topics. For example, at the end of this month, we're going to be in Tampa talking about the tax law and its impact on business. Also hope to do some work with establishing executive programs so that business executives can come to the University of Florida and get some update on different business topics.
Well, you feel pretty good about the present. What about the future?
Well, I think the future is going to be fun. We need to upgrade our facilities at the College of Business and the whole University of Florida. We need to find some way to get a better handle on our student-faculty ratio. We have a lot of students for the number of faculty, and we got to find a way to get more faculty and make a better educational experience for our students.
Well, one of the things that happened last year was a $6.5 million gift to the College of Business. And, of course, there were other gifts, too. But what are some of the other things that make a great business college?
I think a great business college is built on its students and its faculty. But more and more, those students and faculty need support not only from the state, but from the private sector. As Marshall Kreiser has said, and I strongly believe, we are a state-assisted university, not a state-supported university. We need money to support our students. We also need money to provide salary increments for our faculty so we can compete for the best faculty around the country. And I think we're doing very well at it, but we've got to continue to work at that.
Well, Dean, thank you very much for being our guest today.
Thank you very much.
And now we have a special feature on a University of Florida athlete, Steve Stipe.
Talk about mixed emotions. Mr. and Mrs. Daniel Stipe from Waycross, Georgia weren't sure who to cheer for last Saturday. Son Steve is a senior linebacker for the Gators, while son Stan is a junior center for the Georgia Southern Eagles. Steve says that support from home has been a big help while growing up.
Our parents are great. They followed us all over the country and watched us play everywhere. They watched Stan play in the national championship last year, and they watched me play in the SEC championship game up in Kentucky in '84. So that, you know, they've supported us all the way through little leagues, all the way up to where we are now, and we owe them everything that we have. Everything they've taught us so much, and they followed us and supported us all along the way.
Steve also has a lot of respect for his brother, even though they knock heads from time to time on the football field.
He's had to overcome a lot to be able to play. You know, college athletics certainly really doesn't have a place for somebody that size in the interior line, but he decided that that's what he wanted to do, and he set his mind to it, and he achieved his goal. I mean, he does a good job at what he does.
Steve Stipe is a fifth-year senior majoring in public relations. He believes that the lessons learned on the field will help him when it's time to hang up the uniform.
And I do think that it's helped me tremendously. It's helped me mature in most aspects of my life. It's taught me a lot of discipline. You know, everything that is centered around football is centered with discipline. It's because, you know, that's a very important part. So I do think that football has helped me in my personal life also.
Dolphin
Mania is back at Publix. It's the most exciting game in town with over $500,000 in prizes, including five $5,000 grand prizes and 5 trips for 2 to the Super Bowl in Pasadena. And it's easy. Just pick up a collector card and game pieces at your nearest participating Publix. Scratch off the prize box, and you can become an instant winner. Or collect matching game pieces and win $50, $100, up to $5,000. So get in the game. Play Dolphin Mania 4 at Publix now.
Are you tired of your old TV or need an extra one? Now you can take advantage of TV Liquidators' special sale on hundreds of name brand color TVs from the finest hotels. Color TVs, only $99. This sale is on now through Sunday. Color TVs, only $99 at the Ramada Hotel, 3941 Northwest 22nd Street, east of Lejeune Road, and the Ramada Inn, 7600 North Kendall Drive in Kendall.
A message from Cohen & Cohen.
An accident can happen anytime, anywhere, even out here. If you or a member of your family have been injured in a boating accident, there are laws to protect you, and experienced, caring, dedicated professionals ready to help.
If you're injured in any type of boating accident, call Cohen & Cohen. In Broward, dial 921-4700, 532-1771 in Dade, or 391-3434 in Palm Beach.
Tropical Chevrolet presents a used car extravaganza thanks to GM's 2.9% financing.
Hi, I'm Neil Smith for Tropical Chevrolet. People are just pouring in for this 2.9% financing, so we're overflowing with trade-in.
Like this 86 Camaro with T-top, just $10,488, or this 84 Celebrity Eurosport, like new, just $56.99, or this 84 Ford Escort, only 26,000 miles, just $36.88.
So come see me at Tropical Chevrolet.
Biscayne and 88th Miami Shores.
The Gators of Florida lead the Hurricanes of Miami 9-7. And here's the story, Jim Yarbrough.
The story is great defense. Great defense by the Fighting Gators and the Hurricanes of Miami. We got 2 Heisman Trophy hopefuls out on the field this afternoon, Vinny Testaverde and Kerwin Bell, and neither one of them can really get on track because the opposing defense is so tough. And one statistic not showing on our graphic right there is third down conversions. The Canes are 0 of 6 and the Gators are 1 of 10. You're talking about defense rising to the occasion on third down conversions.
They certainly do on both sides of the ball, and we would just like to right now say hello to Morris Roberts, who is the maintenance director here at the University of Florida. He has not missed a game in 22 years and right now is recuperating from surgery. So Morris, get well soon and be with us again soon.
74,875 in attendance, a new record, Jim Gallagher, this afternoon.
Here at Florida Field, and of course, over the years, this game has certainly brought a lot of people into stadiums in Florida, Miami, and Tampa.
Last year, it was an Orange Bowl record crowd when these two teams got together, breaking Super Bowl crowds, Miami Dolphin crowd records, whatever crowd record you wanted to refer to. The Gators and the Canes drew more people into the Orange Bowl last year than anyone in history. And this afternoon, a new record here at Florida Field. Jimmy Johnson walking, looking for some of his players to give some encouragement to.
We'd like to tell you this telecast of Gator football is being seen by fans all over the state of Florida and the United States. No matter where you are, we'd like to hear from you. Send us a card or letter with a self-addressed stamped envelope, and we'll send you a Gator bumper sticker and a Gator keychain. Your comments are also welcome. Send your card or letter to Gator Television Network, Post Office Box 14485, Gainesville, Florida 32604. And we really do appreciate hearing from you.
Well, we get word
your nice comments.
Yeah, Jim, excuse me. We get word from the truck that young Gator tailback Tony Lomack from Tallahassee Leon will not play in the second half. And if you'll recall, I think it was Daryl Oliver that got ejected for a personal foul for the Canes late in the second quarter. So both teams now missing one of their outstanding running backs.
We get ready to kick off and begin the second half of play. And kicking off for the University of Miami will be number 3, Mark Seelig, a senior from Apopka, as he boots the football high and deep. Kerry Watkins, Pensacola, takes it for the Gators. He's at the 10. He's at the 15-yard line and down at the 18-yard line. And bring him down for the Miami Hurricanes, number 2, Basil Proctor from the special teams unit. So it'll be first down and 10, the ball on the 18-yard line for the Florida Gators. And here's the quarterback comparison we're keeping you up with this afternoon. Testaverde, 3 for 11, 639 yards, 1 touchdown. Kerwin Bell, 8 of 16 for 61 yards, no touchdowns.
I was talking with David Steele, the play-by-play voice of the Gators on the University of Florida radio program, and we were talking during the halftime break of what vicious hitting in the secondary, and that's one reason there's not that many completions, because the secondaries are hitting so viciously.
The give-off goes to Wayne Williams, and Wayne Williams across the 20 to the 22-yard line before he's brought down by Miami's number 99, Winston Moss.
I don't think Ricky Nattiel has touched the ball this afternoon, has he? And that's one of the Gators' keys to success. Get the ball in the hands of Ricky Nattiel.
Card has won the 3 of the last 4 meetings between the two clubs, but the Gators lead the series with 25 wins in 47 games. 25 and 22 the record. Second down 6. Ball on the 22 as Bell looks to throw and does, and he's got Nattiel. First down for the Gators at the 37-yard line. Don Ellis, number 29, sophomore left cornerman from Fort Myers, makes the hit. Nattiel so far in 86 through catches, averaging a little over 18 yards per catch.
What do they say? Ask and ye shall receive. We're talking about Ricky Nattiel not touching the football. He might have gone back in halftime and says, get that ball to me. And Kerwin delivers, and Ricky comes up with a big play. First down, Gators.
At the 38-yard line, as we begin the second half of play at Florida Field, it is Wayne Williams, the ball carrier from Titusville, as he goes straight up the middle, and there's a flag on the play.
Wayne Williams was the leading runner for the Gators in the first half, getting 43 net yards and 10 carries with a long run of 19. And right there he had a big chance to break another one. And oh my goodness, Jimmy Davis is down on the field.
Davis has been an excellent player for the Gators, the 280-pound junior from Apopka. The call was against the Hurricanes of Miami. So that's going to cost him.
Excuse me, Jim. Jimmy Davis has done a fine job in that offensive line. Played just about every play for the Gators last year. He was pushed this year by Charlie Wright, who came as a junior college transfer for that starting position, but we don't know why the personal foul was called, but it was called against the Canes. Gators are moving into Hurricane territory.
So that gives them great field position, and we'll talk about that when we come back after these local messages.
When it comes to making financial decisions, look at all the alternatives and go with the best deal. That's why we financed our home at Consolidated Bank. They offer us a good rate and excellent terms on our mortgage. Come to think of it, they gave us a great deal on our auto loan, too. In fact, borrowing money at Consolidated is so easy that I may buy myself a new boat.
Did I hear you say mink coat?
No, I said boat. Can't win them all.
It's fantastic time at Oakland Toyota. This is Doc Lebo, president of Oakland Toyota, with fantastic discounts on our fantastic selection of Toyota vans and the all-new Toyota Dolphin, the most fantastic economical motorhome ever, complete with bath, kitchen, and sleeping accommodations. So hurry in and see all the different colors and options you can choose from. Oakland Toyota, 1700 West Oakland Park Boulevard, just 1 block west of I-95 in Fort Lauderdale, where it's always the discount that counts.
Completed too many here at the University of Florida like that, but he refuses to give up on the play. Almost sacked, does a 360, and Williams comes up with a catch, an 11-yard gain. I don't understand that one, but it did work.
The football is at the 30. It's first and 10 for the Gators. Miami with 4 down linemen. George Myra Jr., the middle linebacker, right in that middle gap. Willard is the motion man, and flag flags on the field at the snap. And it looked like illegal procedure against somebody. Somebody moved. We'll see who the call is going to go against in a minute. I think it's probably going to go against Florida.
Yeah, the whole offensive unit. Kerwin saw the clock ticking down. He was trying to check off, did not get the play called, and miscommunication, illegal procedure, another penalty against the Gators. Kerwin Bell right now 10 of 18 for 87 yards passing.
First and 15 now at the 35-yard line for Florida. They lead 9-7 on 3 field goals by Jeff Dawson. Cedric Smith, 39, the up back behind Bell. As Bell gives to Wayne Williams, and Wayne Williams comes across on the right side and goes to the, call it the 32, maybe picked up 3 yards on the carry. Brought down by number 63, or rather 99, Winston Moss. Second down, 12, ball at the 32. Wayne Williams, 55 yards this afternoon on 13 carries. Frank McCarthy, 53, Lighthouse Point, Florida, up over the football. Kerwin Bell, the signal caller, Eric Hodges, 10, the motion man. And Bell looks to throw and does. He's got Hodges, and Hodges goes out of bounds on the Miami sideline at the 22.
Don Ellis in the coverage right there, and Hodges just beat him on the break. Kerwin delivered a beautiful pass. Hodges did not break stride, but oh my goodness, looks like a flag on the play. Here we see Kerwin. Watch, Hodges does not break stride. Full gallop. He catches the ball, turns up the sideline. An 11-yard gain, but it looks like it's going to be for naught. What do we have on the offense? A penalty of what nature?
Negated because the flag on the play, and it's going to go against Florida. You can see the way they're getting ready to march it off right now. 12 minutes and 4 seconds to play in the third period. Florida leading by 2 points, 9-7. The football is going to move all the way back to the 43-yard line. It was a hold, and it was against the Gators. So there you see the Gators, and a lot of the fans there have their headsets on. As you mentioned earlier, they're listening to David Steele and Norm Carlson on the radio broadcast. Second and 12 on the 43 as Kerwin Bell operates for Florida at the quarterback spot. Split backfield behind him, slot offense, give off to Wayne Williams, snapped up. They get stopped right at the line as Miami sniffed that one out. Dan Stubbs, 96, good play for the Hurricanes of Miami.
Well, the Gators hope to catch the Canes possibly in a blitz or doing some games where the linemen twist and loop and open up a quick crack for the running back on a quick draw, but it just didn't work as we see some of the Cane band members rocking and rolling in the north end zone.
They're having a good time.
They probably don't even know what the score is. Half those guys in the end zone.
Third and 26 on the 46-yard line as Bell drops the pass. He's got time, but he's going to get sacked unless he unloads, and it's picked off by the University of Miami. A run back here in front of the Florida bench comes to the 46-yard line. A flag on the play. Daryl Fullington, number 19, a junior from New Smyrna Beach, the defensive back for Miami, took it down and ran it back.
Kerwin thought he could sneak the ball in there to his tight end, Jones, but Jones was not able to even get his hand on the ball, and Fullington made the interception. Kerwin did knock him out of bounds. There is a penalty. Was it before the interception or after the interception?
That's what we got to see.
The Miami defense and the Gator offense are staying on the field, so it looks like the interception is negated. Oh my goodness, what a big break for the University of Florida right there. They give the ball up, but then they get it back because of the penalty. Roughing the passer against the defense.
Well, that's the call, and it moves the football to the 31-yard line.
Let's see if we can pick it up right here, who the culprit is. Looks like he delivers an elbow to Kerwin's jaw before the interception. You see, he hit him before the ball was intercepted by Fullington, so therefore the Gators maintain possession.
So that brings up first down for the Gators of Florida at the 31-yard line. Kerwin Bell's give-off goes to Octavius Gould, and Gould inside the 30 to the 29-yard line. Short game. Jerome Brown, 98.
And
big senior right tackle for Miami, who's played so well for the Canes this afternoon, makes the tackle.
Jerome Brown might be the best defensive lineman we'll see all season long as we follow the Gators every Saturday afternoon. He's a terrific ball player. Octavius School picked up 28 yards in the first half, and he continues to run effectively here in the third quarter.
There's so many good athletes on the field. Second down, 8. Ball on the 29-yard line now for the Florida Gators as Kerwin Bell is blitzed. And the ball drops on the turf, and Darrell Fullington, 19, came blowing in. And the fumble is recovered by Miami, and so the Hurricanes take it over at the 40-yard line. A big play for them. Big number 99, Winston Moss.
Now, Kerwin never saw the blitz coming. He was looking to the left. Fullington came from his right. See Kerwin Bell's looking to the left, never sees Fullington coming. Second turnover for the University of Florida. Second fumble turnover.
Miami gets the football with 10:15 to play third quarter. They trail. The Gators lead 9-7. Vinny Testaverde rolling out. Testaverde throws, and it is complete into Florida territory. And there's a flag on that play. Completion to Charles Henry, number 82. A tackle by Adrian White, number 2.
Well, they call Adrian White for a late hit. Charles Henry, his knee had touched the turf. I don't know if he heard a whistle or not, but the ball is automatically dead when the knee hits the turf. Here we see Testaverde faking a little bit of a draw action, delivering the ball to his tight end. Charles Henry, the knee goes down. Perhaps they called spearing right there. If Adrian had just gone up and fallen on him, they wouldn't have flagged him for the penalty, but I think the idea that he was coming in with his hat first caused the flag to be thrown.
First and 10, the ball on the 32-yard line now for Miami. Here in the third quarter, Testaverde with a split backfield. He's got receivers left and right. Throws out in the flat, and he's got his man, Michael Irvin, who stays on his feet despite getting a lot of punishment. Michael Irvin, and it is Jarvis Williams taking him down.
Irvin fighting after he catches the ball, refusing to go down when Jarvis Williams hit him, and Scott Armstrong came over to finish off the play. Testaverde picks up a nice 5 yards right there.
Second down 5, ball on the 28-yard line now for Miami. Irvin 47, top of your screen. Split backfield, Highsmith and Bratton. As Testaverde looks and throws out in the flat, he's got Irvin again. Mulberry takes him out just at the 20-yard line, and Miami picks up another first down.
Now the Canes are going to their favorite receiver, sophomore Michael Irvin. Tremendous future for this young man. He only caught one pass against the Gators last year, but then from that point on, he was their leading receiver for the Canes as they went to the Sugar Bowl in '85.
9 minutes and 14 seconds to play in the third period. The Gators trying to protect their 9-7 lead, and the give-off goes to Melvin Bratton. Melvin Bratton, 5, still on his feet, and into the end zone as the Hurricanes score. So suddenly we've got a 13-9 game, and the Hurricanes line up for the extra point. And they're going to go for the extra point because Seelig is on the field. They're not going to try for the 2.
And there's an injured Gator on the field, Jim Gallagher. Looks like the officials are going to call a timeout for a moment. We can't pick up the number right now, but the Canes did a great job right there giving Melvin Bratton a little bit of an opening, and he used that great jitterbug talent of his to actually jump laterally 3 to 5 yards and then continue down the sideline.
Ricky Mulberry is down, number 32, the junior from Palatka, as the team physicians work over him, and we'll be back with more, but first, timeout for these local messages.
There was this guy, a nationally known sports hero, and then I got busted. As a result of my lust for cocaine, I bypassed high and went straight to messed up. I mean, zoom, there was no stopping. Some of you know exactly what I'm talking about because you're taking the exact same ride. A phone call could help you. It took prison to help me.
Call 1-800-662-HELP.
So Ricky Mulberry walking off the field under his own power with Chris Patrick, the trainer, and Dr. Pete Indelicato. And so now the University of Miami gets ready to try for the extra point. And it looks now with Testaverde in the game as if they were going for two. They had originally brought out Mark Selig after the 20-yard touchdown run by Melvin Bratton. And they're going for the two. Highsmith and Bratton behind Testaverde. Testaverde looking to throw, throws, and it is knocked away by the Gators. Knocked away by Arthur White, number 43. The score remains 13-9. We'll be right back after these messages.
To know no boundaries, to let yourself run free. To know no boundaries is what the world should be.
Wherever there are investment opportunities, Merrill Lynch is there with the help you need to make the most of them. Because at Merrill Lynch, we believe your world should know no boundaries.
To know no boundaries. Gatorade is thirsty. Gatorade is thirsty.
Nothing cuts through thirst like Gatorade Thirst Quencher. It quenches the thirst in your throat while it helps put back the potassium, fluids, and minerals your body sweats away.
Gatorade is thirsty. For that deep down body thirst.
5 plays, 60 yards, a minute and 8 seconds possession time, 20-yard touchdown run by Melvin Bratton does the job, and Miami is up by 13-9. They try for two, and Florida stops the try, and so Mark Selig, number 3 from Apopka High School, kicks off. It is deep, and Kerry Watkins takes it at the 3, he's at the 5, at the 10, he's at the 15-yard line, and cuts across the 20 and up between the 21 and the 22 before he is brought down. Number 44 making the hit for Miami, Steve Staffler, and also number 48, Bubba McDowell.
There we see the two-point attempt. Testaverde's looking for Irvin, I think, and Arthur White gets out there. No, he was going to Melvin Bratton, who slipped out of the backfield. There we see the 5-play, 60-yard drive. Of course, it was helped by the 15-yard penalty, unnecessary roughness called against the Gators, but nonetheless, the Canes look good on that offensive series.
1st and 10 on the 21-yard line now for the Gators, and the give-off goes to Wayne Williams, who rips to the 30-yard line before he is brought down by Miami. Winston Moss making the tackle.
Well, the Gators are opening up some good holes right there. That offensive line continues to work, and up front, Bob Sims does a nice job. Here comes Williams, the lead back. Wayne Williams, the tailback.
2nd and a yard, and the give-off is going to go to Anthony Williams as he fights forward. Let's see if he's got the first down. Jerome Brown brings him down, number 98. Anthony Williams out of Tampa Plant High School picks up the first down for the Gators of Florida, and they keep their drive going. Wayne Williams has had 15 carries for 61 yards this afternoon.
Yeah, that's a very decent production when you consider the talent of the defenses out there this afternoon.
Jimmy Davis, number 67, being worked on by the, looked at and talked to by the University of Florida medical staff.
Charlie Wright, number 60, is in as a substitute for Jimmy Davis right now.
At the right guard position as Kerwin Bell looks to throw. And he is brought down way behind the line of scrimmage by Miami. Dan Stubbs, 96, getting in there to make the tackle on Kerwin. Getting some help there, too, from Kerwin Jones. That brings up 2nd down for Florida, and 16 yards to go. The ball on the 26-yard line. Canes of Miami have scored here in the 3rd period to lead at 13-9. pitch is going to go to Wayne Williams, coming to the near side across the 30 to the 31-yard line. Dan Stubbs again gets credit for the tackle for the University of Miami.
Winston Moss, who sat out last week's game with South Carolina because of some possible NCAA violations, back in action starting this afternoon. Doing a nice job from a strong linebacker position. 6'3", 236, Winston Moss.
Third down 12, the ball on the 30-yard line now for the Gators of Florida. Kerwin Bell being chased, throws downfield, and it is high, intended for Wickman, and goes as incomplete. You know, the winning attitude starts with individual performance combined with a strong team morale. Mid-State Federal Savings and Loan admires this spirit and is proud to be the exclusive sponsor of the Most Valuable Player of the Game award, which will be announced at the conclusion of today's game. Mid-State Federal is Florida's full-service financial center. You're looking at Perriman, the return man, 33. McAndrew, number 16, is the kicker for Florida. The line of scrimmage is the 30. It's 4th down and 12 officially, as Jamie McAndrew, the freshman kicker, boots it away, and it's going to go way high, and Perriman will take it down at the 29, and he is brought down at the 30-yard line. Oh, did Florida get down under that kick? Number 33, Dwayne Glover, got down there, along with number 16 for the Gators. McAndrew, the kicker, doing an excellent job.
41-yard punt. Hurricanes starting on their own 30-yard line.
David Kintai, 11, talking with Jimmy Johnson. Kintai, a backup wide receiver. High formation being used by the Hurricanes on 1st and 10 at the 31-yard line. And the give-off again is going to go to Bratton, and Bratton is stacked up as he hits the line of scrimmage. Might have got a tough yard before Arthur White, the big junior inside linebacker from Frostproof, makes the hit.
Excellent play by Arthur White, stepping up to fill the hole as Melvin Bratton almost broke loose again. Bratton was a triple jump and hurdle state champion track athlete in his high school career, and you don't want to turn that young man loose, so you'll never see him until he gets in the end zone.
2nd and 10 at the 31-yard line. Testaverde going long, and it is incomplete. Intended for Brian Blades, number 9, deep downfield, but goes as incomplete.
You're talking about a pro passing attack. That was strictly timing. They were going on the yard marker. Testaverde knew exactly where Blades was going to make his break. Blades never even saw the ball. The ball was in the air. Had it been delivered a little bit closer to him, he would have come up with the reception very easily.
Melvin Bratton, a great afternoon, almost 60 yards today. 3rd and 10 on the 31-yard line, as Vinny Testaverde hands off on the counter to Bratton, who is stacked up. Florida's Scott Armstrong, 57, right there, along with Arthur White. The 2 linebackers bring him down.
Melvin Bratton right now, Jim Gallagher, 58 yards on 8 rushing attempts. Testaverde, 6 of 15 in the passing game for 64 yards.
Jeff Feagles, the kicker. Ricky Mateel, the return man. The Rocket, number 89. 4th and 11, ball at the 30, and the kick is going to come off the 20-yard line. It is high, and fair catch called for by Ricky Mateel, wisely giving Florida good field position between the 24 and the 25-yard line. Eagles really got a hold of that one.
Oh, that was a boomer by Eagles. Anytime you can get that ball in the air where it cannot be returned, you're really helping your ball club, and that's what Feagles did. Just an excellent punt. 45-yarder, no return. What good does it do to punt it 45 yards if the opponent's going to return it 15? Feagles just doing an excellent job.
Here come the Gators, 1st and 10, the ball at the 24-yard line now. They trail the Hurricanes of Miami by 4. The Canes up 13-9. 5 minutes and 2 seconds to play in the 3rd period. As Kerwin Bell, under some pressure, dumps a quick one out to Wayne Williams. He's at the 30, and he's across the 35. Loose ball, and running out of bounds with it on the near sideline is number 18, Tolbert Bain. And there was a flag on the play at the 34. Tolbert Bain, a junior from Miami Northwestern, picks up the loose ball and runs out of bounds with it.
We talked about vicious hitting in the secondary, and there was another indication. The Canes popping that ball loose.
The call against Florida, and it was rejected by the University of Miami, so Miami with the football. Here it is as Bell dumps a quick one out to Wayne Williams. There, follow the bouncing ball as Mr. Bain did and run it out of bounds. So Miami 2 turnovers this afternoon, Florida 3. Even in that defense.
Yeah, that was an excellent call, too. One way to slow that pass rush down is to screen and draw, and the play did work, but the ball was given up on the fumble.
1st and 10 for the Canes on the 48 of Florida as Alonzo Highsmith with the football gets to the 45-yard line. So gets some tough yardage inside. Rondi Weston, the big sophomore right tackle from Belle Glade, makes the tackle.
Keith Williams also doing a nice job up front.
6'4", 250-pound senior from Milton.
That Gator defense needs to rise up right now, or the Canes are going to move in for another score.
2nd down 7, the ball on the 45-yard line right now. Split backfield with a slot offense to the right side. Urban is the slot back for Miami's Hurricanes. Sitting up on a 13-9 lead, and they're going to call a timeout. And so we'll take timeout for these messages.
Want mouth-watering goodness? You want Sonny's Real Pit Barbecue. Everything in Sonny's has that great barbecue taste cooked right through, especially the ribs. Sonny's slow cooks tender, juicy ribs to mouth-watering perfection and serves them up with coleslaw, fries, and garlic bread. It's the rib plate. Oh, now that's good eating.
Everybody loves to eat at Sonny's, 'cause Sonny's makes it all taste right.
Beaches far nicer than Nice. Bouillabaisse, the envy of Marseille. Art they marvel at in Paris. Fashion they seek in Milan. Theater like London. Opera like La Scala. Emeralds by the bushel. Jungles that are wild. And nightlife that's even wilder. Eastern to the wonders of Latin America. With more flights from here to more cities there. And our famous El Interamericano service. Eastern, your airline to all the Americas.
2nd down and 7, the ball on the 45-yard line right now. The Hurricanes of Miami are in possession of the football. They're in Florida territory. 4:14 to play, 3rd quarter, and they're up 13-9. Vinny Testaverde looking at his wideouts. Takes the snap, under pressure, delivers, and he is drilled as he catches it. Alfredo Roberts, the tight end, catches the football, but he was hit and brought down right away by Adrian Place, number 2.
Yeah, the safety's on that tight end. That's his responsibility.
So it'll be 3rd down, 4. Ball on the 42-yard line.
Testaverde doing a nice job of checking off right there, picking up 6 or 7. Big 3rd down, big 3rd down.
Here it comes as Vinny Testaverde has the time to unload and does, and it is incomplete. It was intended downfield for Warren Williams coming out of the backfield, goes is incomplete, and so that brings up 4th down, and the Gators get the football back, and the Florida defense is held.
Standing ovation for the Gator defense, a critical series right there. Miami seemingly in control here late in the 3rd quarter, having just scored, having great field position, but the Gator defense doing a nice job.
4th down and 4, the ball at the 42. Fiegels is the kicker. His punt goes high, high, high. But it's going to be a little bit short and bounces down at the 20-yard line and bounces up to the 22. So Florida gets the football at the 22-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 now for the Gators.
Right now, total offense, 165 for the Hurricanes, 170 for the Gators. The Gators just have not been that consistent with their offensive drives. They need to put some consistency together on offense if they're going to put points on the board.
1st down and 10 on the 22-yard line now for the Gators. A 20-yard boot. Motion man is Hodges, 10. As as Bell gives to Octavius Gould, who carries to the 27-yard line. So a 5-yard carry for the young man from Jersey, Benny Blades. Free safety makes the hit. Two Blades brothers playing for Miami, Benny 36 and Brian number 9. They're both juniors, but Brian is older.
Charlie Wright,
redshirted.
Excuse me, Jim. Charlie Wright doing a nice job there. The young offensive guard in for Jimmy Davis, throwing a fine block on that run.
Sophomore from San Juan Capistrano, California. Eric Hodges 10 is the motion man as the give off on the draw goes to the tailback. And he is really brought down by Bill Hawkins, number 54, the sophomore right defensive end from Hollywood, Florida, along with Randy Shannon, 22, and Don Ellis, 29.
Hawkins, 6'6", 245, built a lot like Ted Hendricks, who was a great All-American in the 60s for the Hurricanes. Big, tall, rangy, a great defensive player.
Third down and 11 now on the 21-yard line for Florida with 2 minutes and 12 seconds to play in the third period. The Canes lead 13-9. Kerwin Bell brought down way behind the line of scrimmage by Dan Stubbs, 96, but there was a flag on that play at the 14. Bell really hit hard on that last play.
Yeah, Jeff Zimmerman just didn't pick up the man. He didn't see the defensive end outside the tight end. You got to get up there, and they call it turkey neck. When you're on offense, you got to be looking around for who you're going to block. And
against Florida,
it's, you know, you got to at least pick the right man up right there. They just didn't even touch him. Jeff just has to be aware of who he's supposed to pick up in that circumstance.
So, Jamie McAndrew in a tough position, standing down in his own end zone. 4th and 21 the situation. The snap is going to come from Walter Bird at the 13. As McAndrew waits for it, has the time, and gets off a high wobbly kick. It's going to hit down and be taken at the 40-yard line by David Kintai, number 11, right at the 40. So it'll be 1st and 10 for the Canes at the 40 of Florida, and they get excellent field position.
Turnovers, penalties, mental errors always come back to haunt you. And again, that was just strictly a mental error. The quarterback sacked. The Gators come up with a punting situation deep in their own territory, and now the Canes have it on the Gator 40.
1 minute and 41 seconds to play in the third period. Vinny Testaverde with the I formation. Now he goes to his split backfield, the pro set. As Testaverde drops, he's got time and throws, and he's got Irvin at the 20, and Irvin is taken out of bounds at the 20-yard line by Jarvis Williams, junior right corner from Palatka. Williams has played an excellent game this afternoon.
Well, Irvin that time had Jarvis Williams backing up very rapidly and made the quick turnout on him and was wide open. Jarvis did come up to make the play, but look how open Irvin is.
21-yard pickup for the Hurricanes. It's 1st and 10 at the 19-yard line. They've got Perriman to the left. Now they go with a slot, moving Bratton 5 into the slot, and Testaverde throwing for Perriman, but it's going to be high. Again, good coverage by Jarvis Williams, who was right there.
Tried to sneak the back down the sideline, and in his zone coverage, Jarvis Williams picks up the responsibility, and Testaverde just wisely threw that ball away. 2nd and 10. Testaverde now 8 for 19, 88 yards through the air.
He's had 2 balls intercepted this afternoon, both times by Mr. Jarvis Williams. 2nd and 10 on the 19-yard line. Miami's Vinny Testaverde gives off, this time to Bratton. Bratton to the 18-yard line. Takes a lot of punishment, though. The Gator defense is right there. Arthur White, 43. First guy to greet him. Gets some help from Jarvis Williams. Clock is ticking away. Just a little over a minute left to play in this third quarter. The Hurricanes of Miami up 13-9 on the Gators of Florida at Florida Field.
Well, third down conversion was terrible for both teams in the first half. Let's see if the Canes can convert right here. 3rd and 9.
Vinny Testaverde, number 14, to throw. He does, looking for the end zone, and it is incomplete. He was looking for Melvin Bratton, number 5, running a post out of the backfield. The balls is incomplete. That brings up 4th down.
Boy, he had him for an instant, too. Arthur White was responsible there, and Arthur looked like he dropped off the coverage just as Bratton was breaking loose, and Oliver was breaking his neck to get over there to hit him. He didn't know if he was going to catch the ball or not.
Mark Seelig, a senior from Mount Dora, Florida, went to high school in Apopka, will attempt the field goal. It will come from the 25, so it's a 35-yard attempt. David Kintai will be the holder. There's the snap. Selig's foot is into it. It's got the distance, and it is good. And so the Hurricanes tack some more points onto their lead, and they lead now by a score of 16-9.
7 points will tie this game up in a hurry. Obviously, the game very much in doubt, but the Hurricanes, we talk about that ebb and flow, and here the Hurricanes come out very strong in the third quarter, taking control of this ball game. 43 seconds left in the third quarter. The Canes lead 16-9.
Galen Hall talking with Kerwin Bell and Rodney Brewer in front of the University of Florida bench with 43 seconds to play in this third period as the defensive unit goes back on the field now for the University of Miami Hurricanes, their special teams kickoff unit, I should say.
Also, in relation to that field goal, you got to realize, where did the Canes start their series? On the Gator 40-yard line. So, again, the Gator defense is playing tough. The Canes have an excellent ball club. Anytime you give them that kind of opportunity, they're more than likely are going to get some points. But rather than 7, the Gators give up 3.
I want to remind you that Gator basketball is back. Vernon Maxwell, Joe Lawrence, Andrew Moten, and all the Gators are back from the most successful season ever, and tickets are on sale now at the Gator ticket office. Make plans now to spend the season with the Gator basketball team as you look at number 4, and that would be Kerry Watkins, a freshman from Pensacola Woodham High School. And Mark Seelig, the kicker, kicks for Miami. Watkins takes it at the 6. He's at the 10. He's at the 15. Across the 15 to the 17-yard line. Before he's brought down, and bringing down for Miami is number 22, Randy Shannon.
Also, number 21 out there, J.C. Penney, doing a nice job.
Like that job. Should we call him J.C. Penney?
You know, talking about J.C. Penney, I was reading in one of the information brochures that David Miller, the president of J.C. Penney Catalog Store, is a Gator graduate.
First and 10, the ball at the 18-yard line as Bell hands off to Gould, and Gould is hit right away. And in there is 93, Dan Cilio, junior from Stamford, Connecticut.
Yeah, those 4 guys on the line of scrimmage right now for the Hurricanes, Jerome Brown, Derwin Jones, Dan Stubbs, just doing a great job. Big number 93, you see him right there doing a super job. Dan Cilio.
Second down, 14, the ball on the 14-yard line. And the give-off goes to Octavius Gould, who goes to the 18-yard line before he is brought down by George Myra Jr. and Rod Carter. And we'll be back with more after these messages from your local sponsors.
When you purchase a suit or sport jacket or even slacks from Peter Kent, you get a perfect fit, a tittle look that flatters you. You also get our people and a 100% guarantee. No cost forever for any alterations you may need. You gain or lose weight or need a new button or zippers, Peter Kent takes 100% good care of you. Name brands at discount prices for over 40 years. Peter Kent, the discounter in the wholesale fashion district of Miami. Hey, we're not the easiest place to find, so we make it worth your while.
And now, with the most spectacular news of the year, Mr. Gus Machado, president of Gus Machado Enterprises.
As we all know, interest rates have been drastically dropping as low as 2.9%. We at Gus Machado Enterprises have decided to eliminate interest rates completely. Wow. Yes, you heard me right. Zero interest rate financing on selected models and for limited time.
But no interest rate?
No interest rate, and only at Gus Machado Buick and Gus Machado Ford in Hialeah.
Flea Market USA is the largest indoor air-conditioned flea market. Over 400 booths that feature clothing, jewelry, hardware, household goods, sporting goods, and much more. Everyone loves a bargain, so why pay more when every day is sale day at Flea Market USA? Open all year round at 30th Avenue and Northwest 79th Street, across from the Metro Rail Station 18. Flea Market USA.
As a little girl, I showed you how easy it is to open a Castro convertible. Now I'd like to demonstrate the remarkable Castromatic recliner. With the touch of a button, it adjusts to any position. Such comfort and convenience. And the Castromatic is made in our own factories. Only at Castro can you choose from over 1,000 fabrics to match your Castro convertible sofa. Years of development have produced the Castromatic. If you're serious about recliners, Castro's the intelligent choice.
We begin the last quarter at Florida Field with the Hurricanes of Miami leading the Gators of Florida by a score of 16-9.
Last year, going into the fourth quarter, it looked like the Canes had control of the ball game, and Kerwin Bell marched the Gators for 2 touchdowns in the fourth quarter to come away with a victory in the Orange Bowl.
Right now, the Gators are trailing, and they've got 15 minutes of football to play. There you see it right up there with the Gators behind, the Canes up 16-9.
Galen Hall has no fingernails to bite. If you've ever checked him out, he's a fingernail biter from the word go.
3rd and 9, the ball on the 19-yard line as Kerwin Bell looks to throw and dumps it quickly out as he hits his running back, Anthony Williams, and Anthony Williams across the 25 to the 26-yard line. And they see got a little bit further than that, brought down by Benny Blades and George Myra Jr.
Oh, big play by the Cane defense. That would have been a big momentum opportunity for the Gator offense. They're throwing that screen pass. They're just getting a big rush from the Canes on every play, so they're trying to slow that rush down a little bit by throwing the screen. It soon trips Wayne Williams up here. That's number 54 coming over to make the play from his linebacker position for the Canes.
4th and less than a yard on the 27, and the Gators are going to kick. McAndrew is standing back on the 10 and gets a good one off. Harriman catches it on the fly at the 35. He's at the 37, turns upfield at the 40, and across the 40. He's recovered it. It could be Florida's. We'll see when they unfile. Flag on the play, though, at the 38. They're going to give it to Miami, and there are flags on the play at the 38-yard line. That looks like a tag team match down there. You can't get those guys apart.
Yeah, Miami did have control of the ball. I don't know how he got in there to get that ball, but that was, let's see, that was number 48, Bubba McDowell. I didn't think he had a chance to get to that football, but he sure did. Big clip on the punt.
Let's take a look at it, Jim.
All right, we see the punt by Perriman, making a nice cut right there. Let's see who knocks that football loose. He's carrying it like a loaf of bread. That's a big mistake. Well, he just flat out lost the ball before he even was hit. Oh, my goodness. Bubba McDowell just got there a fraction ahead of 2 Gators, and there is an injured Gator on the field because of the clip. Looks like Tracy Daniels, sophomore backup center from Chipley, Florida, was hurt on the play. We hope he can get up and walk off the field under his own power in a few moments.
This is the call. It's against Miami and moves the football back to the 22-yard line. Now there's officials timeout while they work over Daniels, and we'll be right back. But first, we're going to take timeout for these messages.
Source of power in town. A new power in banking. First Union National Bank. Let the power be with you.
The Hurricanes Hurricanes of Miami, 1st and 10 on the 22-yard line in the 4th quarter. And the give-off goes to Melvin Bratton, brought down just as he touches the football right at the line of scrimmage. He might have tripped on the play, but anyway, no matter whether he tripped or not, Clifford Charlton was there to make him go down. He was a junior from Tallahassee Leon High School. He had a great game last week against Georgia Southern. It was a 38-yard punt.
Gator fans trying to get the Gator jaws
Officials timeout down on the field right now.
Fans trying to get that defense fired up to shut the Hurricanes down. Very difficult situation for the Florida defense. Even though the Hurricanes are backed up in their own territory, they have so much ability with their Heisman Trophy candidate, Testaverde, leading the attack.
2nd and 10 on the 22-yard line now for Miami. Vinny Testaverde looks to throw, does, and he's got Warren Williams, who is brought down as he touches the football right at the 26 by Kerry Watkins, number 4. By the way, we will be naming the Mid-State Federal Player of the Game later on in this quarter. That was a 4-yard gainer, so it's 3rd down and 6 at the 26-yard line for the Hurricanes of Miami, protecting a 16-9 lead. Here's the stats now.
Bell with the edge, throwing the ball a little bit more, a little over 100 yards passing.
Testaverde drops the throw, dumps a quick one out at the 30-yard line. It's going to be short of the 1st down. That's the tight end Charles Henry, a junior from St. Petersburg, Northeast High School. Lewis Oliver, Bell Blade makes the hit for the Gators.
And the Gators had made a change there in the secondary, giving Kerry Watkins a chance to play, and also Dwayne Glover at the defensive back position. The Gators forcing the Canes to punt. Beagles, who's done an excellent job all afternoon, is out there to see if he can boom another.
Ricky the Rocket and Teal, you looked at just a second ago. Now we're looking at number 38, Jeff Beagles from Scottsdale, Arizona, the punter for the University of Miami. Snap came from the 30. He gets it off high, and the Teal takes it down at the 30, runs cross field, and it's a loose football, and is picked up by the University of Miami inside the 20-yard line at the 19. Well, you know, Galen Hall has talked so many times about one of the most important and overlooked facets of football being the kicking game, because that's when a big play can happen. And here, Miami recovers the football on Florida inside the 20 at the 19-yard line.
The Teal's trying to get out to his wall. He doesn't see number 31, Freddie Highsmith, coming from the back, and Freddie Highsmith just strips him of the football. The Canes obviously in an excellent position here on the Gator 19-yard line with 11:55 left in the 4th quarter.
1st and 10 now for the Hurricanes of Miami as they drive on the Gators, and the defensive unit for the Gators backs to the wall right now. They take Alonzo Highsmith down after a short game down to the 15-yard line.
Well, that was a 40-yard punt, and then there was a -11 on the lost fumble. The Gators doing a nice job there on the 1st down. It looks like there's another injury on the field.
Somebody down on the field. We can't exactly get a number, so we're waiting before we make a call on it. The situation is this right now. The Hurricanes of Miami lead the Gators of Florida 16-9 in the 4th quarter. 11 minutes and 37 seconds left to play in the football game. It's 2nd down and 6 at the 15, and we will be right back. But first, we'll take time out for these messages.
Milk's got the kick that gives you more. Health Kick. More nutrition in every pour. Health Kick. I got the kick, and milk is it. For calcium and vitamins that you're so quick. So get on a Health Kick, let it pour. America's favorite Health Kick. Yeah, get on a Health Kick. Milk's got more. Have more milk, 'cause milk's got more.
Earning a perfect 10 in anything is tough. But there is one carpet that earns a perfect 10. One carpet combines luxury and beauty with durability. One carpet is guaranteed against matting and crushing for 10 full years. One carpet is a perfect 10. Anything Goes Carpet by Armstrong.
good leader has to have two essential qualities. One, you've got to be persistent. Always keep trying no matter what. And two, you've got to be able to instill that winning attitude in others. That's how the Ford dealers have stayed #1 in truck sales here for 18 years. They keep working to give you the best deals on tough Ford trucks. And they pass on that positive attitude to everyone in their dealerships. I tell you, it's great working with the leaders at your Florida and South Georgia Ford dealers.
Arthur White was the young man who was down on the field for the Gators, has come off the field now under his own power. Turnovers this afternoon, Miami 2, Florida 4, 2nd and 6 at the 15. Final quarter between the Gators and the Hurricanes. Vinny Testaverde looking at Florida's defense. Florida now with the 4 down linemen. They're in the nickel as Testaverde looks to the end zone, and it is caught for a touchdown. Michael Irvin, number 47, the sophomore. Flanker catches the touchdown pass for the Hurricanes of Miami.
Beautiful pass route by Michael Irvin, and Testaverde throwing the ball before he even made the break. Ricky Mulberry not able to cover Irvin, who does a little celebrating on the sideline right now. That was a big 6 points for the Canes here early in the fourth quarter.
Mark Selig will attempt the extra point. David Kintai will be the holder. Waiting for the snap. Selig's foot is into it, and it is good, but there was a flag on the play. And we'll be right back after this.
And now, with the most spectacular news of the year, Mr. Gus Machado, president of Gus Machado Enterprises.
As we all know, interest rates have been drastically dropping as low as 2.9%. We at Gus Machado Enterprises have decided to eliminate interest rates completely. Wow. Yes, you heard me right. Zero interest rate financing on selected models and for limited time.
But no interest rate?
No interest rate, and only at Gus Machado Buick and Gus Machado Ford in Hialeah.
Believe it or not, 1.5% financing. Potemkin in South Dade cuts Detroit's new rates in half. 1.5% financing on Lincolns and Mercurys. 1.5% on Subarus, Isuzus, and Mitsubishis. Detroit made it possible. Potemkin made it happen. 1.5% financing on Lincolns, Mercury, Subarus, Isuzus, and Mitsubishis. Potemkin on US 1 South Dade.
They're going to mark the ball off right now, Jim, on the kickoff. Evidently a dead ball foul, or it doesn't matter on a field goal, on an extra point opportunity. They come back and march it off on the kickoff, and now the Canes will kick from the 50 instead of the 35.
So Selig will be the kicker. 11 minutes and 12 seconds to play in the football game, as the Hurricanes of Miami are leading the Gators of Florida 23-9.
Well, if you didn't know how to pass the ball, it'd be a rather hopeless situation, but that's not the case. The Gators have one of the best, if not the best, quarterback in college football, so they're capable of catching up. Miami with a big edge, obviously, right now.
Selig squib kicks it. It bounces along, and it's picked up by Florida, and a run back across the 20, across the 25, and up to the 28-yard line by Cedric Smith, number 39. He's a freshman running back from Enterprise, Alabama. 2 plays, 19 yards, 43 seconds. The possession time. Michael Irvin caught the 15-yard pass from Vinny Testaverde. Let's take a look at it.
Well, you remember the tremendous receiver that Eddie Brown was for the Hurricanes, and they believe Michael Irvin will be that kind of receiver. And you see Mulberry is 10 yards behind him after Irvin made the cut. Just a tremendous pass route, and Testaverde showing his Heisman Trophy quality by delivering the pass.
Kerwin Bell, the throw on 1st and 10, and he throws out to Cedric Smith, who cannot hang on to the football. Line of scrimmage is at the 28-yard line. 11 minutes and 3 seconds to play in the football game. 5 quarterback sacks, 4 turnovers this afternoon.
Well, the last turnover leading directly to great field position. You can't let Testaverde reload too often, or he's going to burn you, and he finally did here in the fourth quarter by hitting Urban in the end zone.
At the 28-yard line, it remains second down 10. As Bell steps out of the pocket, throws a quick one to Octavius Gould, who goes to the 32-yard line. No gain on that play. And Winston Moss makes the tackle for the University of Miami.
Kerwin Bell looks like he might have injured his hand right there. The Gators come out with 3 wide receivers. That means there's no tight end near that offensive line, and you'll see the defensive ends for the Hurricanes widen out. Get that angle on the offensive tackle right there, and they're just beating him around the corner with the great speed. Watch the guys from the outside. See what kind of pressure they put on Kerwin Bell.
Third down 7 at the 31-yard line. The Teal 89, the motion man, as Kerwin Bell looks for somebody to throw to. Throws to Brett Hickman, who's got him first down at the 41-yard line. Hickman, the senior wide receiver from right here in the city of Gainesville, went to Oak Hall High School, as Jim pointed out earlier. He is a pre-med major, will be a fine doctor someday. 4.0, Great Point average.
Kerwin's had trouble getting to his wideouts. We said Natil has only caught 1 pass all day. Whitman's caught 3 or 4. I think only 5 passes going to the wideouts. The rest of the receptions being dumped off to running backs.
At the 41-yard line, it's first down for the Gators as Bell's pass is blocked by the big hand of Jerome Brown.
Cedric Smith, the fullback, was open in the flat, but Jerome Brown, who stands 6'2", jumped into Kerwin's face right there and knocked the ball in the air.
For a guy that size, Jerome could really get up in the air, too.
Well, the Hurricanes have an advantage to the extent that they know the Gators will be passing almost on every play, so let's see what happens in that line. Let's see who's going to win that battle up front.
Second and 10 at the 41-yard line for Florida. Octavius Gould gets the call and goes to the 44-yard line. Brought down by Dan Cilio.
Third and 7. The Gators need to get the football down the field. Again, we mentioned they've been forced on many occasions to dump the ball off to the backs. They need to get those wide receivers. Wickman and Willard's in the game, number 21, along with Natil. 3 wide receivers in the game right now.
Third down 7 at the 44 for Florida. Natil in motion 89 as Kerwin Bell looks for somebody, throws, and he's gotten the drill. Still on his feet after getting drilled at the 47-yard line. Darrell Fullerton, number 19, the quarterman for Miami, made the hit. That brings up fourth down on the 48-yard line, 47-yard line. That means that Florida is going to have to kick. McAndrew averaging 37 yards per boot on 7 punts. Brett Harriman is the return man.
Well, Ricky Natil's not very big. In the last series, they knocked him out of his pass route, and he wasn't able to pick up the first down before he received the ball.
McAndrew kicks and gets off a nice one. Harriman calls for the fair catch at the 10-yard line. And there's a flag down on the play.
Well, I think they're going to say that number 33, Dwayne Glover, came too close to the fair catch recipient. Watch Glover. You see the fair catch signaled for by Perriman. You can't come within 5 yards of him, even though Glover is running beside him, has no intention of hitting him. You cannot come that close to him.
Well, you called it.
That's what you call the letter of the law rather than the intent of the law. The intent is not to hit a guy when he's vulnerable, but there they use the letter of the law, and they figured he was 3 yards close to him, so they were going to throw the flag.
Moves Miami 5 yards further upfield of the 16-yard line. Illegal procedure against the University of Florida. First and 10 at the 16-yard line. For the Hurricanes of Miami with an I formation now. They lead 23-9. Testaverde has gone all the way at quarterback this afternoon for the Canes. Testaverde looks, throws, intercepted by Florida. He's at the 20, inside the 20, and inside the 10, and down to the 8-yard line. The interception made by number
Joey Nicoletto.
Number 45.
No, excuse me.
And number 45 is Pat Moore.
Yeah, excuse me, I wasn't able to pick that up. I thought it was Nicoletto, but it was Moore seeing some action at the linebacker position.
So with 8:24, here are the Gators with the football at the 7. Let's take a look at it as Testaverde looks.
Well, it's his third interception. Got the protection. Moore gets the big drop right there. That's what he's supposed to do.
Kerwin Bell's give goes to Octavius Gould, who's down inside the 1-yard line.
My goodness, what a big turnaround that was. You're talking about giveaways, turnovers, mental errors. All of a sudden, the Gators, things are looking extremely bleak. They come up with a big interception, and now they're on the 1-yard line. 3/4 yard line, it looks like.
Octavius Gould at the top of the eye as Kerwin Bell pants the signals. Hodges to the left. Gould to call, and he is stopped by Miami. They were waiting for him right there. Big Dan Stubbs, 96, stops him right there. Benny Blades, number 36, also there.
That wasn't a stop, that was a stuff. S-T-U-F-F, that's what they call that one.
So that brings up 3rd down, less than a yard to go. Ball on the 1, 3rd and goal for the Gators.
That was an 18-yard run after the interception by Pat Moore. Now the Gators are faced with 3rd down on the 1.
They trail 23-9. Same I formation again. Kerwin Bell this time holding on to the football. Throws, and it is a touchdown for the Gators as Rodney Jones, number 87, catches the football from the tight end spot. Sophomore from Tampa Plant High School.
You're talking about have your heart in your throat. Kerwin could have run that ball in, but he decided to put it in the air because Rodney Jones was so wide open, and Rodney makes the big, key, critical reception.
So now we've got a 23-15 ball game. Let's take a look at it.
Watch Kerwin get outside right here. There's the contain man. He doesn't do his job. Number 29 allows Kerwin to get outside. That was Donald Ellis. Kerwin could have walked in the end zone, but he decided to throw the ball to Rodney Jones. A little bit of a bootleg action right there, catching Miami off guard.
The Gators are going for 2. They're going for 2. Here is Kerwin Bell with the signals. Natil 89, the motion man. Bell looking for the end zone, being chased. Races over to the other side of the field. Looking downfield, throws the ball high. There's a flag on the play at the 3. 2 flags on the line of scrimmage, right at the 3-yard line.
Well, the Gators are thinking if they don't get 2 right now, they'll go for it again should they score another touchdown, and either time would be to their benefit, obviously. Let's see what they're going to call. Illegal procedure against the Gators decline. Gators trail by 8 points.
So this is an interesting turn of events as the Hurricanes of Miami sit up on Florida 23-15. Florida making a great comeback on a big play as they intercept the football, run it back down inside the 10-yard line, and then score.
It's an unexpected turn of events. Who would think that Testaverde would give the ball up deep in his own territory? But he sure did, and the Gators did get the 7 that they needed desperately. And again, now they trail by 8. Obviously, there's plenty of time for field goals, fumbles, interceptions. Anything can happen, but 8 points. The game is still in doubt. The Canes were in control, but now the Gators are very much back in the ball game.
7 minutes and 11 seconds left to play.
That drive, 7 yards, 3 plays, 1 minute, 13 seconds, a 1-yard touchdown pass by Kerwin Bell, who continues to chalk up those touchdown passes in the record book.
So, there's over 7 more minutes of football to be played. John David Francis lacing on his shoe. He is the kick man. Let's take a look now at the 2-point attempt.
Again, we don't see the illegal procedure. Kerwin does a nice job of trying to escape. He's just going to wish and hope this one in the end zone. The play broke down very early. The Canes doing a nice job covering all the different alternatives Kerwin was looking for. Just a nice defensive effort by the Hurricanes to stop that 2-point effort. The Gators penalized anyway.
There's the kick. And it's going to be taken by J.C. Penney at the 8. He's at the 10, the 15, the 20, across the 20, across the 25, and out of bounds in front of the Florida bench. Flags on the play. Flags on the play.
possibly involved in an altercation there on the Gator bench. Let's see who's at fault. The referees are going to mark it off one way or the other. 15 yards. It's uncertain right now who the culprit is.
7 minutes and 5 seconds to play. And it's one against Miami. Personal foul against Miami as they walk it off.
Well, J.C. Penney doing a nice job finding what little hole there is. Gets knocked out of bounds, and oh, there's the late hit in the back, no less.
It was obvious. 3 plays, 7 yards, 113. Rodney Jones, 1-yard pass. 2-point conversion, not good.
Well, we all know what a physical game football is, but it's also a mental game, and you just can't do silly things like that. You know, you got to have your head in the game. Hurricanes could have been out on the 30-yard line, little bit of breathing room. Now they're backed up on their 15.
J.C. Penney making a nice return to the 30-yard line, nullified, moving it back to the 15 because of the personal foul. And so the Hurricanes have the football deep in their own territory at the 15. It's 1st and 25. The give-off is going to go to Highsmith, and Highsmith is stopped as he tries to turn the corner outside. On the left side, Jarvis Williams right there, along with Scott Armstrong.
Well, here we see the big bruising fullback, 234 pounds, and there's Scott Armstrong and Jarvis Williams meeting him at the pass. Ron Moten, Arthur White over there to add their assistance.
3-yard gain to the 18-yard line. It's 2nd down 22 right now.
Kerry Watkins, number 4, in at the left cornerback position, replacing Ricky Mulberry at this point.
Oops, somebody jumped. Let's see who it was.
You know,
looks like it's going to go against Miami.
We talked about at the opening poise and being under control of your emotions and not doing silly and crazy things. Well, the Canes right now are kind of falling apart a little bit. You can't do this when you're playing an opponent like the University of Florida in a hostile environment where the noise, the volume will be turned up every time you make a mistake. But the Canes have made 2 mistakes in a row right now. All they're doing is going in reverse.
So that's going to move that football back to the 13. It'll be 2nd down and 27. Well, that's 27 yards to go. That's a cab ride. Give off on the delayed draw is going to go to Highsmith, and he is stopped as he crosses the 15 to the 16-yard line by Armstrong and Keith Williams.
Big Keith Williams doing a nice job. He's a senior. He's the Gators' answer to Jerome Brown. Keith Williams will have a potential pro career, probably a high draft choice. Jerome Brown, an Outland Trophy candidate.
3rd down and 24 now.
Yeah, 3rd and 24.
At the 17-yard line, 5:59 left to play. The Hurricanes trying to protect the 23-15 lead. The Gators desperately want to get the football back. Testaverde looks for somebody. He's being chased, and he goes long for Perriman, who catches it way deep down the sideline at the 32-yard line of Florida. What a toss that was.
Well, Glover cannot believe that Perriman gets behind him, and Lewis Oliver cannot get over there in time. Oliver's got terrific speed. He underestimates the pass himself. Perriman just comes up with a fantastic play, obviously a critical 1st down pickup and a magnificent effort by Vinny Testaverde.
They're putting it down right between the 33 and the 34. The ball is pointed at the 33, and so that's where it is officially. 5:41 to play, 1st and 10 for the Hurricanes in Florida territory. And Warren Williams trying to turn it on the right side. Loose ball, by the Gators. And it is Jarvis Williams, number 26.
I can't believe this. Can you believe what you're seeing here?
That's incredible. You know, he's had 2 interceptions, and then this.
Well, the emotions that you experience as a fan watching the game, one man's feast is another man's famine. The Hurricanes are feasting in one instant, and now the Gators have turned that feast into a famine. Look at the ball. All he's trying to do is get extra effort. You know, Williams is doing a a terrific job just trying to get some more yardage, and all of a sudden he gives the football up.
He's got to get a lot of consideration for the Mid-State Federal Player of the Game award. Palatka High School turned out some great athletes over the years. 1st and 10 on the 21 now for Florida, and the give-off goes to Gould, and Gould goes straight upfield and carries to the 28-yard line. Octavius Gould. Dan Cilio makes the hit. There's Jarvis.
Yeah, he's had his battles out there this afternoon. He's won some and lost some, but he's won more than he's lost. And you're always going to win some and lose some every time the ball is snapped. He's come up with, what, 2 interceptions and 1 fumble recovery.
Kerwin Bell's give-off goes to Gould, and Gould trying to turn outside. Whistles and flags on the play, so we'll see what the call is. I think it's going to go against Florida, and it could be a motion penalty. It was behind the line of scrimmage. That's what it is. The ball game has taken some interesting turns this afternoon, James.
Yeah, again, I cannot believe some of the plays that I've seen, some of the circumstances that have transpired here. The Gators move the ball very well on their first possession in this drive, their first play of this drive, and now they come up with a penalty, and it's marched them backwards.
2nd and 7 on the 24-yard line. High formation for the Gators. Kerwin Bell throws, and it is incomplete. A little high. It was intended for coming out of the backfield. Cedric Smith, number 39, the freshman from Enterprise, Alabama.
Nice coverage by Randy Shannon, outside linebacker number 22. Kerwin just couldn't find the touch to drop that ball over Shannon, the linebacker, who was chasing his receiver.
Galen Hall has never lost a game here at Florida Field. They're down and 7 on the 24-yard line. For the Gators of Florida, slot offense. The slot would be to the right side. Bell looks, unloads long, and it is incomplete. Hodges was the intended receiver, but I think that Kerwin felt he was pretty well covered and just let it fly. And so that brings on the punter, McAndrew, with the score remaining 23-15, 4 minutes and 44 seconds to play. 3 timeouts left for the Gators, 2 for the Canes.
Evidently, the Gators thought they could find the Hurricanes cornerbacks biting on the short route, and they tried to get the receiver out and up, but it just wasn't there. Perriman had made that play work earlier for the Hurricanes. The Gators couldn't get it to work for them.
McAndrew boots it. Line of scrimmage was the 24. Perriman takes it down on the 25-yard line, calls for the fair catch between the 25 and the 26. And so the Hurricanes take over the football, and they got to try to play ball control. Florida needs a big play to get the football back.
Excellent punt by Jamie McAndrew. The Hurricanes on their own 26-yard line. 4 minutes, 34 seconds. The Canes are going to be wanting to use up the clock. The Gators want to stop it every chance they get. The Gators have 3 timeouts left.
Highsmith, the upback, behind Testaverde, and the call is going to go to Warren Williams off the right side. Loose ball, and it's recovered by the Gators, but let's see, they may have blown the whistle. They may have blown the whistle.
Well, again, Warren Williams, he's just making an extra effort. The coach is going to say, Warren, don't make the extra effort in a minute, because he's giving up the football. He's going to go, and he was down. The ball was knocked out of his possession, but it did look like the whistle had clearly blown. His back was on the ground.
2nd and 5 at the 31-yard line. A little over 4 minutes to play. As Testaverde looks at the Gator defense and gives off on the counter to big number 5, Melvin Bratton, who's had a fine afternoon across the 35, a little across the 35-yard line. Not quite enough, though, for a first down.
But are they ever close? And 2 strong running plays. The offensive line doing a nice job for the King. Big Paul O'Connor, number 77, the right guard. Scott Probin, number 76, the tackle. Doing a nice job for the Canes up front.
third and a little less than a yard. Ball on the 36-yard line between the 35 and the 36. As Vinny Testaverde gives off, and the give-off is going to go to Highsmith, who gets the first down across the 40-yard line. So that keeps the Hurricanes drive going. And there's 3 minutes and 15 seconds left on the clock.
Well, that's that 234-pound fullback. Alonzo Highsmith is getting a lot of attention by pro scouts, obviously. Melvin Bratton's just a junior. Tremendous running backs in that stable for the Hurricanes.
Here's Testaverde now with that pro offense. And the give goes to Highsmith. Highsmith fights for yardage into Florida territory across the 50 and down to the 47. Kerry Watkins makes the hit for the Gators along with Scott Armstrong. First down for the Hurricanes.
Arthur White overruns the ball a little bit. Louis Oliver comes up, tries to make the hit with his shoulder. Louis has got to learn he's got to use those arms as well, especially when you hit a 234-pound fullback.
Ron Moten, 58, finally does the job. Highsmith being walked off the field. 14 carries, 52 yards this afternoon.
Now there's some Gator fans that refuse to give up, and I don't blame them. 2 minutes and 45 seconds to go. Alonzo Highsmith still on the field, being looked over by the trainers. First and 10 for the Canes on the Gator 48-yard line.
2 minutes and 45 seconds as Jimmy Johnson walks off with Highsmith.
.309 yards by the Hurricanes right now. Total offense 203 for the Gators.
Formation being used by Testaverde. The give-off is going to go to Warren Williams. Good gainer inside the 45 and down to the 43-yard line of Florida. It's Warren Williams, a junior out of Fort Myers.
David Electa, number 73, doing another fine job for the Canes up front right there. The Gators come in with a safety blitz, and they just hit the crease just inside the safety as he was blitzing. Boy, once you get in that secondary with those safeties blitzing, there's no one there.
2 minutes to play. Highsmith back in the football game. He and Warren Williams behind Testaverde. Highsmith gets the call, trying to turn outside, and comes out of bounds right here on the near side. A minute 49 to play. The Hurricanes leading the Gators 23 to 15.
Well, Jimmy Johnson didn't want that to happen. He didn't want that clock to stop. He's going to tell those backs next week in practice, do not get out of bounds. Do not get out of bounds. Every time the clock stops, it helps the Gators, obviously, and the Hurricanes want to use that clock up.
There's Albert the Alligator exhorting the crowd to get behind Florida. Third down. And about a yard to go. The call goes to number 5, Melvin Bratton, stacked up at the line. I don't think he got it. May have. We'll have to see when they unpile.
Well, I think it's irrelevant. They'll probably go for it again. Although, I don't know. Let's see. Maybe that'd be rather silly with Kerwin Bell getting the ball on the 40 if they don't make it. I don't think he did make it. Let's see. It's going to be short. Let's see what the call is. Yeah, Jimmy Johnson's going to go for it. Going to go for it.
And here's our mid-state Metro player of the game, Jarvis Williams. His interception is in a fumble recovery this afternoon.
Well, we talked about that Gator secondary being one of the strengths of the Florida defense, and they did hold Testaverde under control for most of this ball game. Great field position allowed Miami to get on the board, but that's the way the game is played. You take advantage of those situations. Testaverde only getting 161 yards now, but all the statistics in the world are irrelevant except the one that says score. Right now it's 23-15, and the Canes are going to go for the 4th down attempt in Gator territory.
1:31 4:01 to play in the football game. Fourth down coming up. As Jimmy Johnson talks with Vinny Testaverde. The Hurricanes moving towards a 2-0 record if they can make it hold up this afternoon. This is a very, very important down coming up. Florida's defense has got to really let it all hang out this time. Two tight ends in the game. Testaverde on fourth down, short yardage, waiting for the snap, and he gives it to number 5, Melvin Bratton, and it looks like he has got the first down.
We mentioned Bratton was a state high school long jump and triple jump champion, and he proved his abilities there by leaping over the Gators for the first down.
He got the first down. It looked more like Greg Louganis that time. First down and 10.
Big dive over the top.
37-yard line. Very difficult to stop as the seconds tick away, and Vinny Testaverde looks at the Florida Gators. They've got 2 timeouts left. And the Canes have 2 timeouts left. They don't want to use any of them right now. Again, number 5, Melvin Bratton gets the call. And of course, Florida uses up all their timeouts.
2 more timeouts remaining. Obviously a very bleak situation with 56 seconds to go. Well, the last team to win here at Florida Field, other than a SEC opponent, which was LSU back in 82, was the University of Miami. And again, they come to Gainesville with high hopes and aspirations for their season. It looks like they're going to go home with a big win as we look at Testaverde. 12 for 25, not too good on the percentage completion, but 161 yards. Kerwin 16 for 29, a little bit over 50% for 137 yards. Testaverde had a little bit more time to look for his receivers than Kerwin Bell had.
Second down 9, the ball on the 36, 56 seconds left to play in the game at Florida Field. Win this afternoon. They're a good road team. This will be their 12th straight regular season road win. Gators have been unbeaten in 21 games at Florida Field. They haven't lost at home since they lost to LSU back in 1982. They have 2 ties here on Florida Field since then, but no losses. Second and 9 on the 36-yard line. Testaverde gives to Highsmith, and Highsmith brought down at the 35-yard line. Florida's got 1 timeout left, and the Hurricanes have 2.
As you look at the Hurricane schedule,
35 seconds to play.
Oklahoma comes to the Orange Bowl. That's going to be a big game for the Hurricanes. Florida State, really Florida State and Oklahoma are their major challenges out of their last 7 ball games. Obviously, the University of Florida game is always big for the Canes, because if they get by the Gators, they can point towards a couple more on their schedule to finish with a great year.
Highsmith drilled behind the line of scrimmage. Less than 10 seconds to play with 9 seconds left. The clock stops. But Florida takes this coming week off before hosting Alabama here at Florida Field on the 20th.
Alabama, big winner over Vanderbilt this afternoon, we understand. Well, the Gators will have that week off to regroup, get ready for an SEC challenge. Obviously, a disappointing pill to swallow this afternoon, but let's give that University of Miami team some credit. They've just got a lot of talent on their ball club. Jimmy Johnson had them ready this afternoon. They took advantage of some turnovers. The punt return that was fumbled turned into 7 points for the Canes. Of course, they gave up the interception that turned in literally to 7 points for the Gators, but he who makes the least mistakes generally does win a big game like this.
I think you have to pay a lot of tribute to a lot of the defensive ball players for the University of Florida going against a great passing attack and a great running attack like this, as well as they played, especially in the first half, played a great first half of football against Miami. 4th and 11 at the 38-yard line with 9 seconds to play. And Vinny Testaverde hangs onto the football himself and runs to the far side and will run out of bounds on the far side of the field, and he is taken out over there by Jarvis Williams. 2 seconds left to play. And 4th down, and that means that they'll kick away.
No, that was a 4th down play. The Gators
that was
get
the 4th down play, so Florida gets the football right now, and they've got 1 play.
Well, Doug Flutie did it, didn't he?
Yeah, we'll see what happens. Now, Miami, to put a little bit of the pressure on, has called one of their timeouts. Florida has no timeouts left. Obviously, they've got to go for the end zone.
Well, when Doug Flutie threw his Hail Mary, I think he threw it from about his own 45-yard line. This time the ball is being snapped from the 45-yard line. Flutie was able to get the ball on the fly in the end zone. He got about as much chance as a hole-in-one opportunity, but it's a chance.
Well, the Miami coaches and the Florida coaches are talking to their teams right now, telling them what they expect out of them, what they should do at this point in time. And we've got 2 seconds left on the clock.
Miami's probably going to rush 3 guys and drop back 8. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys are playing in the outfield. Looks like a softball game. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys are way back. 2 guys are on the line of scrimmage. They're going to rush 4, though.
1st and 10 on the 44-yard line for Florida. They're on their own 44. Is going to be sending everybody long.
Well, those 4 guys up front can put some pressure on, though. Let's see. They might really put a lot of pressure on him.
There's a flag on the play. It looked like a busted snap. We'll see what it is in just a moment. Derwin Jones, number 86, right there up over the football for Miami. And they're discussing it. There's no more time left on the clock at this point in time. Illegal procedure against Florida. Well, they're still on the field, so for them to march it off right now, and they do. Back to the 39-yard line from the 44.
Well, a game cannot end on a penalty. Obviously, they have to accept the penalty and have them march it off. That's
so they've got
the situation.
1 more play. There you can see some of the deep men just a moment ago from Miami.
They're so deep we can't see them on our monitor.
One more play. A lot of fans still standing here.
It's amazing, isn't it? As hopeless as the situation is.
Well, you never can tell.
The whole idea is never give up, right?
That's it. 1st and 15 on the 39-yard line. 1 play.
Well, Jimmy Johnson is saying the center snapped the ball and the play should be over. I don't know why he's debating so vigorously.
Because Because he'd like to go ahead and go home right now.
Yeah, he's worked so hard to get this victory, and he wants it.
23-15 is the score. The Hurricanes of Miami leading the Gators of Florida.
Now they're going to come over and tell Galen what Jimmy Johnson's point of view is.
They talk to Galen. Now Kerwin Bell has come over to talk to Galen. So the Hurricanes of Miami are trying to protect their lead, and Florida gets one more shot.
Now they're going to re-huddle. Probably call the same play. Wish and hope number 7.
So as we wait now for the final play of the football game this afternoon at Florida Field. The Hurricanes will head south and host Texas Tech next week in Oklahoma the 27th. They've got everybody going long for Florida. They put the 2 seconds back on the clock as Frank McCarthy, the center, is up over the football, and Kerwin Bell with a lone setback behind him, and Bell is looking and throws, and it is incomplete, and that is the end of the football game. And the Hurricanes of Miami have defeated the Gators of Florida by a score of 23-15 this afternoon at Florida Field. As Galen Hall walks across the field to congratulate Jimmy Johnson, and they talk for just a moment. They're on the coaching staff together at the University of Oklahoma, and both have come to the state of Florida, and both have done an excellent job as head coaches. As Galen Hall walks off the field right now, and there is Vinny Testaverde. Not great stats this afternoon, but a win for his team, the Miami Hurricanes. And of course, he's being boomed very much for the Heisman Trophy. It's something Kerwin Bell certainly had about the same stats as Vinny this afternoon, as the defenses were pretty dominant and big plays kind of took over in a couple of parts of the game.
Now, this is a strange feeling for Galen Hall. He's never lost at Florida Field. What a fantastic record he's had, and the Gators have been so strong at home, and the only kind of team that can come in and take that victory home with them is a team with national championship potential. So let's give the University of Miami credit for their taking advantage of the mistakes when they had the opportunity today to execute when they had to. You know, the Gators are bitterly disappointed, but that big SEC opener looms ahead with the University of Alabama.
That's coming up in just 2 weeks, and we'll be back with more here at Florida Field. But first, time out with these messages.
Pity Chester Fuddley, who's never shopped at Scotty's or used his Scotty Sure Saver catalog. Fuddley doesn't know it's overflowing with sure savings for the home and yard. It's filled with Scotty's guaranteed lowest prices and comes in handy when unexpected problems drop in.
With Scotty's, you're sure to save money and time. We have the most convenient locations in Gator Country, and we're open 7 days a week.
Check your mail or newspaper for your Scotty Sure Saver catalog. Save it for a rainy day.
Before you draw a conclusion about health care insurance, remember this card and its instant recognition anywhere in America. Remember that no one works harder to provide local, reliable service statewide. Remember the wide choice of health care programs, quality programs at affordable costs. Finding answers to health care costs is what we've done for over 40 years, longer than anyone else. When you remember that, there's only one conclusion to draw: Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Florida.
Frozen concentrated orange juice from Florida tastes fresh because it's frozen fresh.
The freeze is the reason it tastes so fresh. The freeze is the reason it tastes its best.
With the Florida seal of approval, you know it's 100% pure orange juice that meets standards even higher than the federal government's. And you know it tastes fresh because it's frozen fresh.
The freeze is the reason. Orange, you smart.
Subscribe now to GatorBait, the sports weekly for Gator fans. Call collect 904-372-1215. Don't wait. Get GatorBait.
We're back at Florida Field, where the University of Miami Hurricanes have just defeated the University of Florida Fighting Gators by a score of 23-15. The first loss here at Florida Field for Galen Hall as a head coach. Certainly this afternoon, which were promised to be a great offensive fireworks show, didn't turn out to be that way. It turned out to be a dominant defense by both squads in the first half of play. An excellent job by Jeff Dawson, the place kicker, who kicked 3 field goals and kept Florida right there, gave him the lead at the half, and of course the Hurricanes making some big plays.
We might mention about Jeff Dawson, Jim Gallagher. Jeff had a tragedy this past week, lost his mother in a battle to cancer, and you know, there was a lot of heaviness on his heart out there this afternoon, but what does he do? He goes out and kicks 3 field goals. So we want to send our condolences to the family of Jeff Dawson.
Under very, very, as you point out, extremely difficult circumstances. Taking a look at some of the other things that happened this afternoon, the University of Florida now has a week off to prepare for Alabama. The University of Miami goes back to Miami, and they'll be facing Texas Tech down there in the Orange Bowl. As far as the Gators are concerned, they got to get that offense really cranked up between now and the Alabama game.
Oh, it's going to be a big battle with Alabama. Again, that home field advantage has some meaning here at Florida Field, and the Gators hope to crank up this SEC race in a hurry, facing the Crimson Tide. You know they're going to come here with expectations of winning that ball game, especially as they see the Hurricanes were capable of doing it to the Gators.
Our thanks to everybody on our production staff this afternoon, and thank you very much for being with us, ladies and gentlemen, here on the University of Florida Fighting Gator Television Network. For Jim Yarborough, I'm Jim Gallagher. Thanks for being with us. Good afternoon.
Florida football is brought to you by Armstrong Carpets, Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Florida, the Florida Orange Growers, also by Dairy Farmers Incorporated, Florida's milk producers, by First Union Bank of Florida, your Florida and South Georgia Ford dealers, Gatorade Thirst Quencher, Likes Meats, by Merrill Lynch, Scotty's, and by Sonny's Real Pit Barbecue.
RX-7, Motor Trend's 1986 Import Car of the Year. Winner of the IMSA GTU Championship 6 years running and the current SCCA Pro Rally Manufacturers Champion. RX-7, it's always been a red-hot performer. Now the deals are hot, too. Hurry to your Mazda dealer's year-end clearance.
Get a great Mazda deal today in Homestead and Miami.
Welcome back in Flushing Meadows Hurricanes locker room after yesterday's big win over Florida.
It was a great game between 2 teams. One of them had to win, and I'm glad it was y'all.
And dusk falls over South Florida. As the cities move to a different beat, the News 4 night team moves to meet a whole new challenge. A lot happens every night between 6:30 and 11.
Time for this week's Sports Final Flashback. Miami Dolphins opened their 1980 season against the Buffalo Bills, a team they had defeated an NFL record 20 straight times. But the streak would end on this day as Buffalo intercepted 4 Miami passes. A 14-point fourth quarter won it for the Bills, touching off a wild celebration at Rich Stadium. The final score, Buffalo 17, Miami 7.
Many of you may not have been able to see it, but believe me, it was a war in Gainesville yesterday between the University of Miami and the University of Florida Gators. Miami's 23-15 victory was keyed by its relentless defensive line, which sacked Florida's Kerwin Bell 6 times for 56 yards and losses. Danny Stubbs logging 2.5 of those sacks. The biggest challenge now for Miami may be keeping its focus on its next game against Texas Tech, because #1 Oklahoma is just around the corner. Jimmy Johnson talked to his team about that immediately after the ball game.
We don't care about any other team. We don't care what happened around the country. We don't care about polls, and we don't care about the end of the season. We have 1, 2, and we're looking for 3.
Just to give you an indication of how dominating Miami's defense was yesterday, Florida only had 196 yards in total offense. Their average gain per play, only 2.7 yards. So the Hurricanes are certainly on a roll. They will take on Texas Tech next Saturday evening in the Orange Bowl. And don't forget, the Dolphins will be home for their home opener next Sunday afternoon against the Indianapolis Colts. That'll do it for us out here in San Diego. For Ned Smith back in Miami, Hank Goldberg here, for Ross Noble, our photographer and our director out here in San Diego, thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you next Sunday as we present Sunday Sports Final. Have a great week.